Hello everyone, how are you? A very good morning to all of you who have joined on a Sunday morning. I see Sushil is there, Chaitanya is there, Pooja, Sandeep. Great to see you guys on a Sunday morning. How is it going? Are you still sleepy or are you fresh now? Hey Hina, I see Hina as well. What is it? How is it going? Still fresh? Just woke up or you went out for a jog or something? How is it? How is it for you? I was really sleepy 5 minutes ago, but I'm now really fresh. To begin with chapter 7, where we left off. What about you guys? Hey, Ananya, hi, Harsh. How are you? 7, where we left. Really good to see. Really good to see. You guys are fresh or sleepy is what I'm asking. Probably most of the people on a Sunday morning waking up at 7 and studying fresh. That is good, Sadiq. Great, yeah. I don't know how you guys stay fresh. Honestly, I used to study during nights. Probably most of us do study at nights, right? सुबह वाली पढ़ाई होती नहीं है. But it's good that you guys are up. Absolutely same here, Pooja. I was also asleep, but I'm now ready. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks for asking. I'm doing good so far. Any questions, any doubts? Kuch bhi man mein you have any sleepy but now fresh. That is right, and say that is right. Ready to complete the chapter? Absolutely. Me too, Harsh. Me too. I'm also ready to complete the chapter. And I really have good questions for you guys today, right? So, काफी exam oriented questions that you should be aware of, the kind of questions that can come in examinations, right? So those are the kind of questions you should expect. Those are the kind of questions that can actually come in examination. So we'll discuss those today, right? They are, if the questions are really new. You will not find those questions in any study material. You will not find that question in any question bank. Those are pure questions that I've prepared especially for these sessions, right? So we'll do that as well after we complete chapter 7. So be really interactive, right? Hey Shakti, how are you? Great morning to you as well. So without wasting much time, right, and respecting everyone's time who has joined on time, let us start with where we left off, right? So yesterday we were talking about organizational structures. Jahan pe we talked about where we were talking about the simple structure, where we were specifically talking about simple structure, that how a small business owner or how a small business entity structures their business, right? How they structure their own business and around who manages that. There is only one person who manages everything, who does everything, right? Then we were talking about another structure, which is functional structure. Based on your function, wherein based on your function, you divide your entire company. कि finance function है, so finance head हो गया. Then you have operations head, you have this head, this head, that head, right? So everyone heading a particular function divides themselves into an organizational structure, right? That is also what a functional structure was. Then we talked about your divisional structure, wherein we divided a company into different divisions, right? Into different divisions, which were basically separately taken care of, even though they were reporting to one single entity, वो division structure था. Then we talked about multi-division, like Tata Sons. एक division layer है, then they have another layer of division. When you have two or multiple layers of division, it becomes a multi-divisional or M form of business. Then we also talked about your SBUs, right? Strategic business units, grouping your related businesses together to form one business unit, and that functions as a different strategic unit. उसका प्रॉफिट अलग से देखा जाता है, उसकी strategies are different from the entire company. That is an SBU structure. And we are just continuing with that today. A few attributes, we discussed this, right? We were talking about it helps. We're talking about the attributes of SBU, and I'll start with the same thing today as well, right? Okay. We also studied late, Puja, because early morning Exactly. So I also used to study late at nights, but that is, I don't know. I think that is not a good strategy. Waking up early in the morning, like I think it doubles up your day, right? If you wake up at let's say 6 or 7 o'clock and start studying, you can cover up a lot of things from 7 to 10. That is 3 hours. जो कि रात को if you start studying at 10 or 11 and you want to study at 1 or 2, the amount of things you cover in those last in your night ke 3 hours versus what you cover from 7 to 10 in the morning, I think there's a huge difference. That is my experience. It really depends how you want to study, right? Okay. Hey, women, how are you? Good, good, good. People keep joining and okay, Ashmeet. So where can you get the schedule of these classes? You can actually follow ICAI on Twitter. You can go and check your live classes. Right, there is a live classes website for ICAI, and you can have the schedule there. It's there on the top. It's given schedule of classes. There's like a PDF. Download that and you can get all the schedule. Varna, I think on Twitter also ICAI keeps updating that. If you're not able to find this, कहाँ से PDF क्या मिलेगी? Twitter पे जाके see. They keep updating the schedule there as well. So that is also one easy way you can get the schedule, right? Okay. So talking about SBU, grouping of businesses in SBU. So SBU, we were talking about that SBU, the related businesses. Related businesses are grouped together. Right? And they helps in firm in strategic planning by removing vagueness and confusion generally seen in grouping businesses. So what happens is when you have related businesses, what happens is confusion nahi rehta, right? So soap, we were talking about soap SBU or a washing powder SBU or a ready-made food SBU. There is no confusion. Everyone knows what kind of business we are into. All the brands within the SBU know what kind of business we are doing. And so there is less confusion, less vagueness, less undecisiveness. Ki karna kya hai. There is more collaborative approach, right? And less of confusion in an SBU. It facilitates the right setting for correct strategic planning, correct relative priorities and resources. So what it's saying is when you have related businesses, your resources can also be used in a very more efficient or effective manner so that more relative priorities can be set, more relative resources can be used, right? More relative resources or more relative priorities because your businesses are related within an SBU. So people were asking, kya ek SBU ke andar competition ho sakta hai between different brands? Yes. Can two SBUs compete each other? Generally, no, because they are unrelated. SBU 1 is unrelated from SBU, but all the businesses grouped within an SBU 1 are related. All the businesses grouped in SBU 2 are related. So, आपस में उनका competition हो सकता है, but between two SBUs, generally there is no competition, right? That is right. Charu is Ashmeet. Charu is saying you can also find your schedule in BOS app, right? Board of Studies का app आप लोग करेंगे. There also you'll find it. So app में तो easy हो जाएगा. If you're using an app or if you can download the app, nothing like it. You'll find everything there, right? I was under the impression you're using a laptop or a computer system. But if you're using an app, आपका app में भी हो जाएगा, right? Thanks, Charu, for helping Ashmeet. Let us move on to understanding, right, the issues, right? The issues of SBU structure, right? So, for example, the direct implications on decisions about diversification in a different way. Issue of relatedness. What does this mean? Right? Issues of relatedness means, now think about this very carefully. SBUs might build on similar technologies or all provide similar sorts of products or service. Now, the same thing that we were discussing कि यार आपस में businesses are related within an SBU. So probably ये तो आपस में compete करेंगे. That is the entire issue here, right? What we're talking about here, the entire issue. वो कह रहे issue of relatedness क्या है? Relatedness की वजह से issue क्या होता है? All the businesses within an SBU are related to each other. इससे problem क्या हो सकती है? इससे issue क्या हो सकता है? Issue क्या हो सकता है? That they will start competing. They're built on similar technologies, all provide similar sorts of goods. They might be serving similar or different markets, right? Other competencies on which the competitive advantage of different SBUs are built have similarities. So what did he say? It is good also, and some way it is bad also, right? This particular slide says that relatedness, the issue of relatedness is आपकी competency same भी हो सकती है, different भी हो सकती है. Same है तो competition है, different है तो manage करना मुश्किल है, right? Within an SBU, the challenge is if the businesses have same resources, same technology, same market, same marketing theme, same marketing technique, same amount of money they want, same amount of branding they want, same amount of brand identity have, same core competency है, same competitive advantage है. What will happen? They will start competing. अगर different है, if it is same, they will start competing. If they are different, so their relatedness becomes an issue. अब वो एक ही SBU में है and everyone has a different aspect, everything has a different core competency, right? It becomes difficult. It becomes difficult to manage an SBU. अगर different है तो difficult हो जाता है, same है तो competition बन जाता है, right? So this keeps on going, even though it's a healthy thing, right? That competition is a healthy thing, and that differentiation is also a healthy thing because it helps the company to grow far and wide, not just एक segment में, but different segments में, right? Absolutely, yeah. If you left yesterday's class, probably thoda sa issue hoga because we are studying SBU and everything. But no worries, you can continue from here. After SBU, jo bhi hai, that's a new topic, right? After SBU, everything is a new topic. So probably that shouldn't be an issue for you, right? Okay, so this issue of relatedness is understood, right? Cool. Let's go on to the next structure. Let's go on to the next structure, which is called the matrix structure. The next structure is called the matrix structure. अच्छा भैया, matrix structure क्या होता है? It was developed to combine. Okay, now look at this word. It combines functional structure की stability and product form stability and the divisional structure. Okay, it combines two things. Your matrix structure combines two things. Okay, it combines functional structure की stability and it adds to that divisional structure की flexibility, right? Why is divisional structure flexible? Who will help me with that? Okay, so we discussed this yesterday. Why is divisional structure called as flexible? Why is divisional structure called as flexible? Right? Why is divisional structure called as flexible? I want to see who can answer this. Who was attentive in yesterday's class? Why is divisional structure called flexible? Let us see who can answer. How and why is divisional structure called flexible? How and why your divisional structure is called flexible? Let's see who can remember. Try, even if you're wrong, just give it a try. It is easy to add any new product line without disturbing the earlier ones. Absolutely right, Chaitanya. Absolutely right. It is easy to add a division or a product line without disturbing the earlier ones. Super exact, crisp answer. That is the right answer, right? That is why it's called flexible. You can add more divisions, you can add more brands, you can add more products without disturbing the existing product lines, without disturbing the existing business. You can keep on adding more divisions to it, right? That is why your matrix, that is why your divisional structure is called so flexible. Okay, awesome. Let us go on to understand matrix structure, which is now combining functional and divisional structure. Functional or division को mix कर देगा and it becomes a matrix structure, right? Look at this thing very carefully. Okay, now depends on both vertical and horizontal flow of authority and communication. Hence the term matrix. It is forming a matrix, right? It is flowing like this also, it is flowing like this also, and it is flowing like this also. Okay, there are two flows going on. एक तो rightward flow जा रहा है और एक downward flow जा रहा है, right? Now let us understand something very important in this. So what is happening? Okay, so what is happening? I'll change the color so that it helps you get better. Okay. Now let us talk about this point, this person, right? This sales unit. Let us talk about this. What is happening in this sales unit? Okay. Now this sales ka person is actually part of this project B, right? Project B में, right? Right, for adding new products divided into some way, because each division has power to take decisions to some extent without asking from senior authorities, not necessarily. Flexible more in terms of structure wise. Flexible not in terms of decision making, but flexible in terms of divisional level, right? That you can add on more products, you can add on more divisions. That is the main reason it is called flexible. Okay, remember that. Now, think of matrix structure like this. This particular person is part of Project B. Project B has manufacturing, sales, finance, and human resource, right? And this sales manager is taking control of sales unit of different projects as well, right? And uske upar we have top management. That means CFO, I'll change the color. CFO, CEO, सब लोग इसके ऊपर बैठे, right? Your CFO, your CXO, your CEO, right? Your CEO, your CFO, your CHRO, your CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, सब लोग यहाँ ऊपर बैठे, right? सब लोग यहाँ ऊपर बैठे and they have different heads. They have a sales head, they have a finance head, they have a human resource head under them, right? And this sales head is looking after sales unit 1, sales unit 2, sales unit 3, right? And we also have different divisions. ये आपका हो गया functional level. This is your functional level and this is your divisional level. So project A means your division A, division B, division C. Each division is controlling each of the functions. Each of the function people is also being controlled by one functional head, right? This is why it's called a matrix structure. How is it different from a divisional structure? Divisional structure में there were no functional heads. जो ये वाला finance का बंदा, like this person, the finance person, this finance person was reporting to manager of project B and directly to the CFO. There was no functional head, right? There were no functional heads. But यहाँ पे in matrix structure there are functional heads, there are divisional heads. On this side these are divisional heads. On this side we have functional heads. And इनके ऊपर we have all the CFO, CEO, CM, right? Is that easy? Divisional structure में सिर्फ division था and the person within a division was reporting to the divisional head, right? यहाँ पे we have a divisional head also and a functional head also. We have a divisional head also and a functional head also. That is why it is called a matrix structure. Because matrix बन रहा है, ऐसे भी authority जा रही है और ऐसे भी authority जा रही है, तो एक box बन जाता है, एक matrix बन जाता है, right? That is why it's called a matrix structure. Dual lines of authority. Left hand side पे आपका division है, top hand side पे आपका function है, right? People anywhere working in anywhere in this particular matrix. I'll just clear this off. People working anywhere in this matrix will have to report to two people. They have to report, let's say आपका finance unit C वाला जो person है, he or she is reporting to manager of product C about the finances. He or she is also reporting to finance manager about कि हाँ इस particular division में क्या चल रहा है in relation to finance, right? So there are dual vertical and horizontal flow of authority and communication, both, right? Awesome. Awesome. we'll understand a little more on the matrix very quickly, right? Simple है, you know functional structure, you know divisional structure. इन दोनों को बस combine कर दिया, functional और divisional को, right? Matrix structure may be appropriate when, कब इसकी जरूरत पड़ सकती है? When organizations conclude neither the function nor the divisional form are right for implementation of the strategy. For example, like construction, healthcare, research, and defense industries, right? What is happening is now a company is in different divisions. Healthcare division hai, research division hai, defense industry ka division hai, right? So if a company has different divisions and it is not able to understand your functional structure रखें या फिर divisional structure रखें, or if you want to understand it in this way, if the company has a lot of divisions, it creates a lot of complexity, right? If I have to do a business of defense material also, I have to do a business of medicines also, I have to do a business of construction also, it is really complex for me. And I will want to have more control. ऐसा ना हो कि मैं एक division बना दूं healthcare का, I create a division of defense and healthcare and this and that, and then I'm not able to control it. So what I do, I create a matrix structure. कि एक तो division head will take care of this entire business, plus a functional manager will also take care of that particular business ka function, so that two people are managing one particular business, right? There are two people responsible for managing one business, and that is why it becomes more control. Zyada control aata hai. More people can work on this, right? More brains will be implemented on a particular business, so it becomes easier to control. Agar division A wala kuch galat kar raha hai, so the functional manager of division A, all the heads of functions who are also related to division A, they will come and tell division A ka manager, boss, this is happening wrong in your division, you should go and check that, right? So zyada aasan ho jayega for managing, for controlling the businesses. When the business is very complex, it turns into a matrix structure. Right? A lot of big businesses are into matrix structure, like Wipro is in a matrix structure, your Amazon is in a matrix structure. All these businesses who are so big, they all have turned themselves into matrix structure, right? Okay, let us go on to understand that employees have two superiors. This we understand. This is logic here. Like this is pure logic that an employee will have two superiors. One is the functional head, one is the divisional head, right? Absolutely, Charu. My diagram is different from the study material. Why I did that? I did not take up the study material wala diagram so that you get a different perspective as well, right? Study material का तो आप पढ़ेंगे, logic वही है. The point is you will get a different perspective, right? आपको study material से बाहर का भी if I tell something, you will get more perspective, you will get more example, you will get more thought process. अच्छा ऐसे भी हो सकता है. This is also how it can be. Like that is why I put a different image so that you guys get more perspective. It is not just about syllabus. थोड़ा बाहर का भी पढ़ेंगे तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा समझ आएगा. Like that is what I feel. I've always done that as well. I studied thoroughly through study material, right? But I also used to go up to Google and search, right? Google पे जाके आपको कोई भी concept समझ नहीं आया. This is what I used to do. I'm telling from personal experience. If I don't understand anything from a study material or someone is explaining to me, I just go to your Google, I type that concept and I write examples. Okay. The best way to understand is a concept मत समझो. अगर आपको कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, you're confused, go to Google, write down the concept and write examples. For example, if you're not understanding core competency क्या होता है, write down on Google core competency examples. You will get brands. You will get brands like the brands you know, right? उसमें आएगा Red Bull कैसे करता है. You will get to know this particular company कैसे करती है. आपको पतंजलि ने क्या किया, आपका मारुति सुजुकी की core competency क्या है. And then you start relating, अच्छा ये है core competency. Or you want to understand value chain analysis क्या है. You go and type value chain analysis examples, right? You will get examples. Read them, understand them. That is exactly what study material would be saying, but in a different way. So, if it is becoming difficult to understand, internet तो आजकल अपने पास है. That is what I used to do. Cool. Coming to matrix structure, the employees who are working in a matrix structure have two superiors. एक तो डिविजनल स्ट्रक्चर वाले को रिपोर्ट करना है और एक फंक्शनल हेड को भी रिपोर्ट करना है. दे हैव टू रिपोर्ट द डिविजनल हेड and the functional head. So they have two superiors, right? The home department is usually functional and is reasonably permanent, right? Now tell me why. This is a classic thing that you should understand. For a person who is working in a matrix structure, the functional department is usually permanent, and the divisional product line of project is temporary, right? Divisional is temporary, but functional is permanent. For a person, for an employee working, they have two subordinates, and the function is permanent for them, while division is temporary. Why? I want you to answer why. Why would that happen? कि for a person who is working in a matrix structure, जो उसका functional department है, that will be permanent, but uska divisional department might be temporary. That means he or she can keep changing the divisions, but he or she cannot change the function. Why? Logic hai, basic logic hai. Why will that happen? Why will that happen? Answers, please. Think thoroughly, think carefully. Because he's performing the same function, right here, right? But I think you got the answer. You just need to frame that better. I think you know the answer, but frame it a little better. Because project of construction complete. No, Hina, that is not the right answer, but we'll come to that. But I'm really happy you're thinking. Think more. Okay, think more. I'm giving you a hint. This is not the right answer. Think harder. Correct. So Ria says because he or she can work with the same skills in any division. That is absolutely right. Okay. Now think about this. Let's say you are a chartered accountant. You are working here. Okay. Now you are a chartered accountant and you are working here in the finance unit, right? In finance unit of division B. Now, after 2 years, out of this entire thing, where can you go? Okay. All the people are working here. Let's say after 2 years, you want to change your role. Where will you go? Can you go to manufacturing unit, right, of the same project, or you would go either to project A ka finance or project C ka finance, right? Whether you will go to manufacturing unit of B or you will go to finance upar niche. How will you move as a chartered accountant in the company? How will you move? Division can be changed, but functions do not change. Skill cannot be changed. That is right. Projects keep changing, but your function stays the same. That is right. A person working in sales unit of project A can migrate to sales unit of project B, but he or she cannot come to sales. That is, come to finance, right? That is absolutely right. You guys got the concept right. And that is what this entire thing, this particular slide is also saying, right? Employees, function is permanent and product or division is temporary. Abhi ek chartered accountant will only move in the finance department ऊपर and नीचे in different divisions. He or she cannot be said कि अरे आप अगले रोल में आपको HR बना देते हैं, right? Or you cannot go and tell an HR manager that boss, अच्छा 2 साल हो गए, you want a change, let us go and put you in a manufacturing unit, आप जाके production करो, right? This boss engineer थोड़ी ना, मैं तो HR हूँ, right? And that is why your function will remain permanent and your division is temporary. That will keep changing and that will keep changing, right? Absolutely. Sahi pakde. Okay. Now, matrix structure is a great structure for better and awesome control for a very big and complex organization. But it also has 3 shortcomings, right? 3 reasons for complexity. इसमें 3 reasons हैं why it becomes so complex, right? It becomes really complex for people working in it, right? Number one, because vertical and horizontal flow of authority and communication needs an extensive and effective communication system. A person has to report to functional head, a person has to report to divisional head, and bhai itna sara time, effort will only go in reporting to two people, right? The finance head will have different questions to different finance. So every month, think about this. Every month you will have two meetings. Ek to finance head will come and take meetings with you. The divisional head will come and ask questions to you. So a lot of time and effort goes into effective communication system, right? A lot of time is wasted there कि भाई same चीज उनको बताओ, same चीज इनको बताओ, right? Absolutely. All the answers I'm reading are correct. Ananya, Chaitanya, Charu, everyone, right? Upwards and downwards, because that function will be same, but employee के skill change नहीं होगा, right? So the complexity number one is effective communication system. एक ही आदमी को दो लोगों को always at all times he or she has to report constantly. That is a pain. That is a pain, right? The second reason for complexity is shared authority, right? Shared authority. That means, I will come to that. But think about this. Dual line of budget authority, dual line of sources of rewards and punishment. C is dual reporting channels. So what is happening? Look at this particular image again. What is happening is now project B wala is having budget, right? And manufacturing manager is also having a budget. This division wala is also having budget for the entire division. And this manufacturing manager is having a particular, let's say he or she has 100 rupees and he or she also has 100 rupees. Okay. Now, the manufacturing unit says कि ठीक है, project B की manufacturing को 50 रुपए allocate करता हूँ, इसको 30 rupees allocate करता हूँ, and let me allocate 20 rupees to this wala. Okay. This particular person has allocated in this way. Now, manufacturer project B says, see, I have to divide this into different functions, my 100 rupees. मेरे को sales में ज़्यादा खर्चा करना है. I'll put 60 rupees in sales. I'll just put 20 rupees in manufacturing, and I'll put around 10 rupees in my finance and 10 rupees in my human resource. Okay. Abhi look at how differently the allocation of budget is done. For this person, 50% of the allocation should be this unit. And he's saying, yeah, manufacturing में पैसा क्यों खर्चना, sales में पैसा खर्चने जाके. The ideology का clash है, right? There is ideology का clash, right? And that becomes complex. That becomes complex. Dual lines of budget authority. Similarly, dual sources of rewards and punishments, right? I will, if I'm reporting to two people, if I'm reporting to the division head, I'm reporting to the finance head, I will also get rewards and punishment from both. Division वाला भी मुझे reward देगा, और आपका function वाला will also reward me if I'm doing great job, if I'm meeting my targets. But if I'm not meeting my targets, both of them will screw me. Both of them will punish me. Both of them will be after my life, right? So dual sources of reward and punishment थोड़ा सा complexity बढ़ाता है. We're not saying it's a bad thing. We're just saying it increases complexity, and a business has to manage that. Business का नाम ही complexity है. A business has to manage that because it brings a lot of control. थोड़ा complexity भी लाता है, but it brings a lot of control in the business, even though with slight pinch of complexity, right? That's right, Lokesh. Do not take meetings, just send reports by mail. So Lokesh, I would really want you to join some company really soon, and let's see if you can say no to meetings, right? They will come at your home and कान में earphone डाल के आपकी meeting करा देंगे, right? I wish people could say no to meetings, especially when your senior manager keeps a meeting, right? Dual reporting channels, we know that. Number 3 reason for complexity is high overheads because it has more management positions, right? पैसा लगेगा भाई, आपका division head को भी salary देना है, functional head को भी salary. You have created so many heads. You have created so many senior positions in your company. A matrix structure creates a lot many senior positions in the company. So your salary cost will increase. Your overhead, your cost of people, your employee cost will increase a lot, right? That is one complexity that comes with matrix structure. पैसा बहुत लगता है in creating this structure, right? Cool. 3 conditions for a matrix structure, right? That means if you have to identify, right? If you have to identify कि इस particular company को matrix structure चाहिए या नहीं. If you have to identify if a particular company requires or needs a matrix structure or not, right? Now read this side carefully. The matrix structure is often found in organizations or within SBUs, right? When the 3 conditions exist. Generally, ये किन companies में मिलता है? Where ideas need to be cross-fertilized across projects and products, right? Cross-fertilized means they need to have more control and ideation from 2 people. So division A, ka head also using his brain, and functional head is also using her brain, right? So what is happening is division wala is also taking a brain ki mere ko division mein ye karna hai, ye karna hai, ye karna hai. And the functional head, she is also thinking, boss mere ko ye karna hai, mere ko ye karna hai. And they're both ideas cross-fertilize, right? They both of them cross-fertilize, more control, more senior decision making. So the ideas where ideas need to have more control and more better senior management, wahan pe matrix structure can be seen. Wahan pe matrix structure can be put in place in those organizations, right? Second, where resources are scarce. Resources not in terms of money. Resources here, I do not mean money, but I mean where your raw material or your IP, let's say your intellectual property is scarce, is very crucial, right? So you need to have very good control. My strategy should be bang on, right? Whatever strategy I do, whatever I do with my business, it should be bang on because the resources are scarce, right? The time is scarce, the market is scarce, the intellectual property is scarce, not money. Do not consider money here because kharcha to bahut hota hai matrix structure mein, right? When your resources are scarce, you do this matrix structure so that your chances of failing of your strategy are less. 2 log control kar rahe hain aapki strategy ka implementation. 2 people are controlling the strategy implementation, so the chances of your strategy failing are relatively less. Zero nahi hai, but relatively less ho jata hai. That is why when your resources are scarce, a company can go for a matrix structure, right? Abilities to process information and make decisions need to be improved. When your company, when your business needs to improve its ability to take decisions, it should go for a matrix structure, right? Because again, 2 people are going to take decisions, 2 senior people, 2 a functional head or a division head are going to take decisions. So better decision making. If in your business you think ki boss, मेरी decision making is very poor, my business is not able to make decisions, time निकल जाता है, opportunity निकल जाते हैं, हम लोग decision नहीं ले पाते, right? So for those companies, a matrix structure can be a good structure, right? The companies जहाँ पे decision ही नहीं ले पा रहे कि opportunity आई चली गई, threat आया, the business को disrupt करके चला गया, and the people were still thinking क्या करें, क्या करें, क्या करें. Like by matrix structure रख लो, so that if one divisional head cannot take a decision, the functional head will take a decision and do things, right? अगर divisional head decision नहीं ले पा रहे हैं, so your functional heads will take a decision and let the business grow, right? That is why matrix structure वहाँ पे easy है when you want to improve your decision making in the business, right? Cool. Quickly, अभी बहुत सारी बातें हो गई कि क्या कॉम्प्लेक्स है, क्या गड़बड़ होती है. Let us quickly understand advantages, right? Many channels of communication. It is a drawback also, it is an advantage also. Abhi, when you have many channels of communication, so you have a lot of information, right? Division A में अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है, Division B and C will get to know, boss, this is something that can go wrong, so you become aware from their experience, right? From the experience of a particular division, you take lessons and you save your division. At a broad level, business का तो फायदा ही हो रहा है, right? If your division A said कि हम लोग loan लेके we will start production, and you think यार loan तो बहुत महंगा पड़ा, we could not repay loan, उस division को तो cash crunch आ गया, they could not repay their loan. So what division B will do? They will say कि boss, let us not go for a loan, let us go for an equity. हम लोग शेयर मार्केट से पैसा ले लेते हैं, IPO कर लेते हैं, right? So many channels of communication की वजह से, because of there were a lot of channels of communication within the organization, you get a lot of information, you learn a lot from experience of others, and that you can implement in your function, that you can implement in your division, right? You can learn from the experience of others relatively very much more than any other structure, because यहाँ पे it's open. Everyone can talk to any division, any function, right? Workers can see visible results at their work, correct? Workers can see visible results of their work because it's very focused on a division, it's very focused on a function. So if a function manager is doing something good, he or she will be rewarded by the division head also and will be rewarded by the function head also. So people are relatively happy, so that because they're reporting to two people, agar ek is not rewarding you, is not giving you due recognition, you still have another person who can give you recognition for your work, right? So that people can see their visible results very quickly in such a structure, right? Shutting down a project is accomplished relatively easily, right? एक division हटाना is relatively easy क्योंकि those people can go into different divisions का same function, because function permanent है, division temporary है, function permanent है, division temporary है, division हटा दो, people working in that particular division can go to some other function with relation to that particular division, right? So shutting down of projects is relatively easy. Relatively, it's not easy, it's relatively easy, right? Useful when the external environment is complex and dynamic. Classic. बहुत कुछ चेंज हो रहा है, फिर कुछ नया प्रोडक्ट आ जाता है, कभी नया प्रोडक्ट चला जाता है, कोई नई मार्केट आ जाती है, सम इनोवेशन हो जाती है, सम लॉ चेंजेस, some geographical problem comes up, some political problem comes up, some demographic changes come in your market. You can add or reduce products because of this, right? 3 and 4 तो थोड़े बहुत related है. So because when your external environment is complex and dynamic, you can increase or reduce, right? You can shut down a project, introduce a new project relatively easily. तो आपको external environment से ज्यादा डरने की जरूरत नहीं होती कि आप प्रोजेक्ट बंद भी जल्दी से कर सकते हो और आप नया प्रोजेक्ट भी, नया डिविजन भी बहुत जल्दी से you can start, right? So it's easy. This particular structure is beneficial when the external environment is a little complex and dynamic. Cool. Very simple. बड़ी slides हैं, the बड़ी things in study material, that how do you implement a matrix structure. Davis and Lawrence, two guys, said how do you implement a matrix structure. There's a lot of stuff in the study material, there's a lot of stuff in this PPT, but I've made it super simple for you. Just focus on these yellow highlighted words, right? Just focus on these yellow highlighted words, and these are the 3 phases, right? Very simple. Phase 1 क्या है? Pilots curve, right? Pilots means small testing, right? Using temporary cross-functional task force. छोटे task force बनाओ to act like a matrix structure, right? You have a big organization, right? You have a very big organization which has, let's say, different projects. A है, B है, C है, D है, right? Your organization is not a matrix structure right now. It's a divisional structure, let's say. It has a divisional structure. So first thing to convert your structure into matrix is you do pilots. Pilots means small projects. So in your company, you take a small piece of your company और यहाँ पे सिर्फ for, let's say, for only C, सिर्फ project C को उठा के आप matrix में डाल दो, right? सिर्फ project C को उठा के you say that इसको हम matrix structure में डाल देते, that project C will have a matrix structure, a functional head also and a divisional head also. Project C में functional head भी होगा और divisional head भी होगा, right? You just, out of the 4-5 divisions you have, you just pick up one and try. Pilot means try. Pilot means trials, right? You do a trial on one particular division, right? Second is, if it is successful, if this trial becomes successful, you start joining more. A को भी कर दो, right? Then A पे try करो, then B पे try करो, then D पे try करो, right? If this trial becomes successful, start joining, right? Do it to more divisions, do it to more functions, और functions को ले आओ, और divisions को धीरे start building upon matrix structure in each of the divisions. एक साथ पूरी कंपनी को मत करो, slowly you start building a matrix structure on different divisions, right? After doing a joining, when you think that every particular division is now into a matrix structure, you make it permanent. You make it permanent, and your this ball of a division structure changes into a matrix structure जहाँ पे ऊपर आपके CXOs बैठे हैं, right? And then you have function head 1, function head 2, function head 3, and you have divisional head 1, divisional head 2, divisional head 3, and this is how the reporting is done. ये डिवीजन हेड की अथॉरिटी ऐसे जा रही है, फंक्शनल वालों की अथॉरिटी ऐसे ऊपर आ रही है, एंड दस इट बिकम्स अ मैट्रिक्स, राइट? एंड यू परमानेंट दिस, इसको जाके आप परमानेंट कर देते हो, राइट? सो सिंपल है, 3 steps. You do trials, small trials on different divisions or different functions. Not necessarily सारे functions पे try करो, not necessarily सारे division पे, कोई एक division उठा के उसको किसी 2 functions पे try करो, right? Start doing trials on a particular divisions, just 2 functions instead of all the 5: finance, manufacturing, marketing, sales. सबकी जगह just take finance and sales and do a pilot, do a trial. Is it successful for me? Are people enjoying this? Are people wanting this change? Are my people able to accomplish goals what I'm requiring from a matrix structure? If yes, add more functions, add more divisions, start joining those, बड़ा करते जाओ उसको धीरे धीरे, एंड फाइनली when it becomes like a structure like this, you make it permanent, right? That is simple what Davis and Lawrence said in matrix implementation. Super duper simple, right? Any questions so far? Any questions and doubts so far? Any questions, any doubts? कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, you want an example, you want to ask something, there is some doubt, कुछ confusion है, throw in your thoughts, throw in your doubts at me. I'll be happy to help that. Anything that is bothering कि यार ये समझ नहीं आया यार, ये थोड़ा और समझना है मुझे. Ask me, no doubt. Wonderful, Sakti. Thank you so much for mentioning that. For everyone जिनको कोई doubt नहीं है, people who feel there is no doubt, just drop in all clear, no doubt. That also helps, yeah. Because I can't see your faces, so I don't know if you are understanding or not. So you will have to type that. Otherwise, वरना तो शक्ल देख के पहचान लेंगे. समझ आया यार, कह यार ये क्या, ये तो बाउंसर निकल गई ऊपर से. Sure, Lokesh, thank you. Clear. Okay, so Chaitanya is asking, resources are scarce, how is it a condition? Okay, see, when just resources are scarce, that is a condition for matrix structure because you would want to control more, right? Chaitanya, think about this. I'll give you an example. Classic example देता हूँ. आपके घर में when I say कि अब 3 दिन पानी नहीं आएगा, right? Think about this. When I say in your house there is some repairing going on, and you get a message that आपके घर 3 दिन पानी नहीं आएगा, you will not get water supply for 3 days. There is a panic situation. There is a panic situation in your house, and everyone is concerned. Even your father is concerned, even you are concerned, your mother is concerned, your siblings, your sister or brother are concerned. सब लोग concerned हो जाते हैं, पानी नहीं आएगा. So everyone wants to control that. Everyone wants to take decisions there, right? So when in an organization, this resources are scarce, so they want more control, right? Organization wants more control कि ये कहीं से waste ना हो जाए, right? So all of you, all 4 or 5 people in your family will be very attentive and want to take control. पानी waste तो नहीं हो रहा, 3 दिन पानी नहीं आ रहा, पानी waste तो नहीं हो रहा, right? That same thing happens with the business. Business would want to say, when my resources are scarce, I would want to control everything even more. And matrix structure gives a lot of control. That is what I'm saying. Matrix structure gives a lot of control. Functional head भी check करता है, divisional head भी check करता है, right? The same thing, a divisional head is also checking and a functional head is also checking the same thing. That gives more control. Divisional head is going and reporting to the CXO, CMO. Your functional head is going and CFO, CMO को वो कर रहा है. Your divisional head is going and reporting to the CEO. Same चीज के बारे में 2 people are reporting to the CEO in different ways. So CEO understands कि हाँ ये control अच्छे से हो रहा है या नहीं, right? That is what this scarcity of resources meant. What is second? Second phase is start joining. What you do is, right, second phase of this particular implementation is small trials के basis पे then you start joining. Let's say you start a pilot on project C, division C का आप शुरू करते हैं pilot, and then you only do a pilot of your production function and your finance function. It becomes a success. So what you do, you start adding sales function and marketing function all to this trial, right? And then you do a full trial and you say ये भी successful हो गया, right? Then you say ये exact same thing, let me go and replicate, let me copy this thing to division B, right? Division B में same चीज copy करके देखता हूँ क्या ये structure काम करता है, C में काम कर दिया, then it works in division B also, and you start joining, right? आप इनको उठा के matrix में डालना शुरू कर दे. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? You start putting this divisions on one side, you start putting functions on one side, and slowly and steadily आपका ये matrix बन जाता है, and then you permanent it. You say, boss, अब मेरा matrix structure बन गया, let me start doing my business in a matrix structure. So that is your start joining. Small pieces को you start joining into matrix. Functions को ऊपर डालो, divisions को side में डालो in an organization, right? That is how it is done. Practical use of Davis. There is Davis and Lawrence का implementation is practical in itself. What is practical use क्या है? Matrix structure बनाने के लिए these are the three phases. This is how you have to create a matrix structure is what they are saying. Practical use तो यही है, right? Sushil. Manager is in charge as a key horizontal link means. So manager is charged as a key horizontal link in the first thing means in the horizontal. अब क्या होता है when you have a divisional structure, right? From a divisional structure, your manager is charged of the horizontal level, right? That is what we are studying now. I'll show you in that picture. See, क्या ये horizontally तो है? क्या ये horizontally तो है? This is horizontal. So a manager here is responsible for horizontal charge only. Divisional structure होता अगर you look at only divisional structure, सिर्फ horizontal in charge होता है manager. But matrix में एक ऊपर आके manufacturing और finance function head भी आ जाता है. And they have a vertical. So from horizontal link, you add a vertical link to it. That is what this particular thing is saying, right? That is what they are saying. Using temporary cross-function task force wherein a project manager is in charge of a key horizontal link. So what they're saying is, manager को ज़्यादा power होती है divisional structure में. So when you're doing trials, start using that power. ठीक है? उसकी power को, उसकी management को use करके start doing trials, start doing small pilots is what it is saying, right? Use his expertise, use his management to do trials. Okay, great. What else? Keep asking your questions. It's good that you guys are thinking. It's good that you guys have questions. That means you are listening carefully. So ask your questions, and no question is a wrong question. Because it's certainly a doubt in your head. कि यार ये question अगर आपने पूछा है, that means there is a doubt in your head. And we are here to help you with that. Do not leave any doubt in your head thinking कि यार ये question कैसा लगेगा. Even if it's a silly question, ask it. You think it's silly, but someone also might have the same confusion, right? It's not a silly question, it's just a confusion. And you should clear all your confusions. I'm talking like Sadhguru, right? ये strategic management की class है, or is it more like a Sadhguru like event? If you have confusions, you should clear all confusions. Good. Okay. Let us quickly go to the next structure. Okay, very quickly, next structure, if no questions. फटाफट से let us go to the next one, which is network structure. अभी network structure is super duper simple. Network structure में इतना आसान है network structure. It is also called non-structure radical design, right? Non-structure radical design. And it is so simple. It is so simple. I'll tell you why. नेटवर्क स्ट्रक्चर की सिंपल मैथ्स क्या है, आप कुछ भी खुद नहीं करते हो. You do everything from the outside. Network structure says you do not do anything yourself except one thing, right? You only do one thing yourself. You only do one thing yourself, and rest everything. You get it done from the outside. Okay, you get everything done from the outside except one thing that you do yourself, and that is called network structure. आपने एक network बना लिया. You created a network for yourself, right? You created a network for yourself, and you only do one thing. Rest everything else is done by someone else or other companies. Classic example. Okay, let us say it's your birthday party, right? It's your 20th birthday party, and you decide कि यार छत पे जाके we'll have a blast, dance वगैरह करेंगे, खाएंगे पिएंगे, we'll have a lot of fun, we'll bring in snacks, we'll bring in your soft drinks and everything, right? And then we'll sit down, we'll do a bonfire, we'll do grill, we'll do paneer tikka, we'll do kebabs and everything. एक पार्टी बढ़िया सी पार्टी करेंगे, birthday party, right? Now, in network structure, if you want to function, if you want to do your birthday party by using a network structure, what you will do, you will call up your friends. You will call up your friends and say, boss, तू ऐसा कर भाई, ice cream उठा ला. You will call someone else and say, तू soft drinks ले आ, तू 5 Pepsi ले आ, 5 Coke ले आ. You will call someone else and say, boss, 2 packet kebab लेके आना, right? Then you call your another friend and say, थोड़े से chips ले आना. You call someone else, भाई तू grill ले आना, right? And you say कि dance वगैरह मैं देख लूँगा. Music system and setting up the chat, I'll do it. I'll design, I'll do everything. I'll clean up the chat, put in lights and everything. Dance का मैं देख लूँगा. खाने पीने का तुम लोग करके ले आना, right? And you call and tell everyone and you tell them जो भी पैसा होगा I'll pay because it's my party. Whatever money you spend, just tell me. I'll pay that money, right? That is network structure. This is network structure, right? Elimination of in-house business functions. Many activities are outsourced by long-term contracts. आप अपने सारे functions, all your functions are outsourced. All your functions are outsourced. Finance function, procurement, design, sales, सब कुछ आप बाहर से करवा रहे हो, and you're doing only one thing yourself, right? That is a network structure, right? That is a network structure wherein you do all your functions from the outside. You outsource all your functions, and by eliminating all your in-house business functions, you get it done by outside, right? Let us quickly look at the diagram and then let's take an example. This is your core firm, right? अभी what you do is आपका product development USA की किसी company से आप करवा रहे. You have a contract, you have a long-term contract, LTC. You have a long-term contract with a company in USA who is doing product development for you. There is another company in USA that is doing accounting and finance for you. There is a company in Mexico which is doing assembly, which is joining your products and shipping it back to you, right? UK में you have a company, you are into a long-term contract who is doing package designing for you. पैकेट कैसा बनेगा, डिजाइनिंग कैसे होगी, रेक्टेंगल होगा, स्क्वायर होगा, राउंड होगा, हाउ विल द प्रोडक्ट लुक, दैट इज डन बाय अ फर्म, बाय अ कंपनी इन यूके, राइट? एंड योर कॉल सेंटर, योर कस्टमर सर्विस इज टेकन केयर बाय कंपनी इन फिलीपींस. फिलीपींस की कंपनी ने से आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर लिया एंड दे आर डूइंग योर कस्टमर सर्विस, दैट दे आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ योर कस्टमर सर्विस, एंड यू आर combining, you are using all these services for your business. That is called network structure. That is called network structure. That is called network. What are you doing yourself? आप marketing खुद कर रहे हो. Let's say you're branding, you're creating a brand yourself, and that is called network structure. That is called network structure, right? Your core firm will be working on one single thing, all your functions, right? Think of this very carefully, not divisions. आप division outsource नहीं करते हो, आप functions. In network structure, you only outsource your functions, not your divisions, not your SBUs, right? वो आपकी कंपनी में ही रहते हैं, but your functions are outsourced, and that is your network structure. Your functions are outsourced, and that is your network structure. Your functions are outsourced, and that becomes your network structure, right? Now let's take a classic example. There's a brand called H&M. Right? H&M is a clothing brand. 700 suppliers का network है, more than 2/3 of which are based in low-cost Asian countries. Asian countries में it has a network of 700 suppliers, and उससे it takes services and then it markets its product as H&M, right? That is what a network structure is. That is what a network structure is. Okay. In first stage, both function and division manager will be appointed. Yes, both will be appointed, but small area, right? In phase number 1 of your matrix implementation. Cool. See, it is 8 o'clock. Let us what should we do is we'll discuss in-depth network structure. You got an idea, but let us quickly take a break of 10 minutes. You also go and stretch, drink something. I'll also go and stretch and do something and get something to eat, right? Meanwhile, let us take a quick 10 minutes break. It's already 8 o'clock. Let us meet sharp at 8:10, right? Let us meet sharp at 8:10. Be back on time. I'll be back on time, right? Let's take a quick break of 10 minutes now. I hope you guys are also back. If not, let us quickly get back. All right, all right. Thanks, Ria. Thanks for being back on time. Let us just wait for another 30-40 seconds, please, right? So that everyone also joins back. Good, good, good. Shakti's back, Harsh, Sandeep, Pooja. Let's just wait for 30-40 seconds, like 30 seconds now, so that more of our friends are back, right? And then we will start with understanding network structure with more depth, right? थोड़ा सा और डेप्थ में जाएंगे to understand network structure. Cool. Khushi is there, Meman is there, Charu, Ananya, Nitya. Awesome. Cool. So I think a couple of you are back. Others should join. So we're talking about our network structure, right? Network structure ka logic is very simple. That you outsource your functions. To someone else and you do certain things yourself. Just say, for example, Apple hai. Apple does a lot of R&D itself. However, uska manufacturing is done by Foxconn, marketing is done by some other company, this product designing is done by some other company. But the basic thing that they do is more research and development is what they do themselves. Baki sare functions, they get it outsourced. They get it done from someone else, right? And that is what a network structure is. That is basically what a network structure is, wherein you do certain functions yourself, baki sare functions aap outsource kar do. That is called a network structure, right? Okay. We're taking an example from this particular slide where you have long-term contracts with different function providers, and each of these is a service provider for you. Each of these becomes a service provider for you, and that is how a network structure works, right? Now, a corporation organization in this manner is often called a virtual organization, right? Such companies which have your network structure are mostly called virtual organizations because in the past, the entire functions are outsourced. It's more like it's more like a company which is virtually a company, right? So these are mostly network structure where the companies are generally called your virtual organizations because खुद तो सिर्फ एक ही function करेगा, rest everyone is done by anyone else from around the globe. So they're more, like most of the times, all very commonly called as virtual organizations as well, right? Okay, so composed of series of project groups or collaborations. They have a lot of collaborations, right? Network structure has collaborations linked by constantly changing non-hierarchical or cobweb-like networks. That means not constantly changing non-hierarchical. That means you can easily change, you can keep changing your service, you can keep adding services, you can keep removing your functions. It's very easy. It's very easy. निकाल के कोई इसी से एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हटा के दूसरे को ले आओ, कुछ addition function चाहिए, कुछ additional help चाहिए. You keep adding people to your network, you keep removing people from the network, right? When is it used? This is the key question. What kind of a company should use this? When should a company particularly use this, right? So used when the long-term external environment appears unstable. When the long-term external environment appears unstable, right? And the organization wants innovation and quick response, right? The organization wants innovation and quick response, and the external environment is very unstable. The company should go for a network structure, right? Because external environment unstable hai, that means the company can make huge losses. So it wouldn't want to invest a lot of money in creating teams, in creating organizational structure. It wouldn't want to invest a lot of money in a lot of things, right? कि unstable है external environment, कल को business चले ना चले, कल को धंधा ठप पड़ जाए, कल को कुछ change आ जाए. How will I sell off this business? How will I stop doing the business? Network structure में क्या होगा? You can end contracts. Contract की penalty लगेगी, right? if your contract is, let's say, for 5 years and you want to stop your business after 2 years, you will only have to give penalty, right? You only have to give penalty for that, for stopping the contract or breaking the contract, right? But business band karne se to fir bhi kam cost hogi, right? If you have a team of, let's say, 500 people, you will have to say goodbye to them, stop businesses, supplier, production, latram patram, everything you have to stop and bear a cost. But network structure mein, you just have to end your contracts. You just have to say, we don't want more services. Thank you for your service. Whatever your penalties, we'll pay it, and we want to stop doing this business. So it becomes relatively easy. When the external environment is unstable and the company wants a quick response to the market, they should go for a network structure, right? They should go for a network structure. No problem, Jamil. If you're late today, probably you can go back, look at the class, but we would really want that you are on time, right? Otherwise, like others are on time, we should respect that as well. Cool? Okay, but it's a Sunday, so I don't know. Okay, so network structure, non-structure radical design. Okay, now think of this. It is just explaining the thing more and more. You get the idea, you get what it is doing. Hota kya hai network structure? It's just that we understand more and more concepts around it, because questions to isi se aayenge, right? Rather than being located in a single building, an organization functions are scattered at different geographical locations, like we saw in the previous diagram, right? This is important. The organization is only a shell with a small headquarters acting as a broker. और बाकी सारा काम तो बाहर से करवाते हैं. They themselves are like a shell small headquarter company. कि मुंबई में I have 10 people company. बाकी सब मैंने outsource कर दिया. Only 10 people are sitting in Mumbai office and managing this entire business. Right? Contract हो गया, वो काम करके दे रहे हैं. हम यहाँ पे बैठे बैठे फोन पे, लैपटॉप पे इधर का माल उधर भिजवा रहे हैं, इधर से काम लेके बैठ के सारा काम करते हैं. Right? If you go and see, right, I will tell you, if you have time today after this session, just go and check how many people work in Apple. Okay, how many people are there working in Apple, right? Payroll पे कितने लोग हैं, employees कितने लोग हैं Apple के? You will be blown, right? You will be blown कि इतने कम लोग, how are they managing such a big company? Trillion and trillion dollars of company, right? Your Apple ka market capitalization is more than the annual GDP of India, right? That is how big it has become. So how are only like handful of people, I'm saying handful, thoda zyada matlab in hundreds and thousands hi honge, but still look at the size of the company, right? Because they have a network structure. सब कुछ बाहर से करवा के they're managing. It's more a small headquartered company in US. They're acting like network agents कि इससे काम लेते उससे काम लेते, काम करवाते, यहाँ का वहाँ भेजो, वहाँ का वहाँ भेजो. लॉजिस्टिक्स भी बाहर से करवा रहे हैं, प्रोडक्शन भी बाहर से करवा रहे हैं, पैकिंग भी बाहर से हो रही है, सब कुछ बाहर से हो रहा है. We're just managing it, right? So the moment they want to stop their contract, it's easy. Apple यूं exit कर सकता है market से, right? It will not take them years and years कि चलो फैक्ट्रियां बेचनी है जी, अब एसेट्स बेचने हैं, अब ये बंद करो, अब वो ढूंढो. They just have to say, boss, contracts khatam, we're stopping our business, and they'll exit like this within months, right? Okay. In its ultimate form, the network organization is a series of independent firms or business units linked together by a common system that designs, produces, and markets a product or a service, right? Simple hai. The network organization is a series of independent firms. Independent firms is a series of independent firms. ये तो दिख रही है ये पे. Independent firm की series है, which are combined together by the core company, right? इसको बोलते हैं network structure. इसको बोलते हैं network structure that separate independent businesses are combined by a core central firm, right? That is a network structure. Okay, cool. Advantages क्या है? Increased flexibility and adaptability. Simple है. Increased flexibility, increased adaptability. We know flexible है, ज़्यादा बढ़ाते जाओ, कम करते जाओ, आज बंद करना है, कल बंद करना है, आज double करना है. You want to make your business 3 times, get 3 times the services from outside. Simple है. it allows a company to concentrate on its distinctive competencies, right? This is key thing. This is the exam ka question ka keyword, right? In a network structure, the company can focus on what it is good at. Like Apple is good at designing. Apple is good at research and development. तो वो research and development and designing में अपना सारा दिमाग लगाते हैं, right? Production, marketing, packaging, logistics, distribution सब कुछ बाहर से करवाते हैं, right? सब कुछ बाहर से करवाते हैं, and the design and the research and development they do themselves because that is their distinctive competency. That is what they're extremely good at. That is what they are the best at. And they do that themselves. Baki sab kuch they outsource, right? And that is what a network structure ki advantage is. You can do that. Cool. Disadvantage. Numerous potential partners. Abhi, finding good suppliers is a challenge. Finding good suppliers of services who can help you in your network is a big, big challenge. You want premium quality, but people outside are not making any premium quality. It becomes a challenge, right? Now, contracting out functions to separate suppliers may keep the firm from discovering any synergies by combining activities. This means, look at this graph again, okay? Now, the package designing partner, right? The package designing partner, assembly partner. Problem क्या आ सकती है in a network structure है? So packaging department, after assembly, the things have to go to packaging department, okay? After assembly partner, the things have to go to packaging. उन्होंने सामान, let's say, उसने soap, shampoo और cream तीनों एक साथ करके एक box में डाल दिए. Now it sends to packaging design, who is now packaging this entire box and then shipping it, right? ये एक cost आ रही है. This is coming as an extra cost. What if the assembly wala could also package it? Assembly wala company if also could package it, वो assemble करेगा, pack करेगा, खुद ही ship कर देगा. What if that happened? They would have saved a lot of transportation cost. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, they would have they would have reduced a lot of transportation cost. कि भाई ये सामान from assembly partner will go to package partner from Mexico to UK जाएगा, right? Every 3 weeks they have big container which goes from Mexico to UK. फिर insurance है, खर्चा है, and then वहाँ package होते हैं, then पूरे world में distribute होता है. So a lot of cost. This is a big challenge in network that you cannot find synergy by combining activities. It's difficult to find synergies. Synergy means benefit of combining things, right? The benefit of combining things is called synergies by combining activities. That is missing in network, right? That is something that is missing in a network structure. And that might become a problem sometimes. That can become a problem sometimes, okay? Now, if a particular firm specializes on only a few functions, it runs the risk of choosing the wrong functions and thus becoming non-competitive. That means if you're not able to identify your core competency, if you're not able to identify what is your distinctive competency, आपका network structure ही fail हो जाएगा. If you're not able to identify your distinctive competency, your network structure will fail because you have to do the distinctive yourself and outsource everything else. So it is very important to find and identify your distinctive competency. Otherwise, choosing the wrong functions and thus becoming non-competitive. You will choose to outsource the wrong functions and thus become non-competitive, right? That is a disadvantage of your network structure. That is a disadvantage of network structure, right? Before I go to the next one, any doubts on this very quickly? In the next 10 or 12 minutes, we'll finish this chapter and then we'll do questions for next 35-40 minutes. Questions karenge, right? So quickly tell me if there are any doubts so that I can move on without wasting much time. Or we can go to hourglass structure. All clear. Got it. Perfect. Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks, Sakti. Awesome. Hourglass organization structure consists of 3 layers constricted with a constricted middle layer. Hourglass kya hota hai? You know what is an hourglass? Hourglass is this thing. You know, यहाँ पे that sand वाला thing, there's this thing called sand wala box, right? Like this, and then you have sand in it, and then you have sand here, which keeps dropping in the lower one. Then it becomes sand here. Then you reverse it. Then you reverse it, and then you put it on the reverse side. That is an hourglass. Okay, that is an hourglass, and an organization which has the shape of an hourglass. Hourglass की shape means it is broad in the middle, at the top, medium में छोटी है, and then it is again broad at the bottom. This is your hourglass structure. इसको बोलते हैं hourglass structure, right? This is called hourglass. 3 layers है. This is top layer, there is a middle layer, and there is a lower layer, right? The middle layer is small, the top layer is large, and the lower layer is large, right? Hourglass organization, 3 layers, top layer, medium layer, and lower layer, okay? The role played by middle management is diminishing as the tasks performed by them are increasingly replaced by technological tools, right? So what is happening is, in today's world, technology is removing the middle manager. ये जो भी है ये technology से the middle managers are removing. Whatever people are working, सब कुछ cloud में चला जाता है, analytics हो जाता है, computer is analyzing themselves, artificial intelligence, machine learning. इसकी वजह से manager का role खत्म होता जा रहा है. The role of the manager is reducing because of artificial engineering, because of machine learning, right? And that is what this hourglass structure is all about. Okay, so in startups where there are many founders, that means top पे 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 founders in a startup, and they have 2 managers who are handling the entire operations. And in the lower layer, we have 10 people. We have 10 people in the lower, engineers and coders, 10 engineers and coders in the lower segment of the organization. Middle, maybe we just have 2 supervisors or 2 managers, and we have 5 founders, right? That is an hourglass structure. Right? Contrary to traditional middle-level managers who are often specialists, the manager in the hourglass structure are generalists and perform wide variety of cross-functional tasks. That means, क्योंकि सिर्फ 2 managers हैं, because there are only 2 managers, they have to manage everything, right? Because there are less number of managers, they are generalist and not specialist. Finance भी देख लेंगे, production भी देख लेंगे, sales भी देख लेंगे, marketing भी देख लेंगे, सब कुछ देख लेंगे वो लोग, right? Because there are less people in the middle management, they look after everything in the business. Top पे we have 4-5 leaders, 4-5 founders and directors. नीचे we have 2-3 managers, and उसके नीचे we have 10-15 people working in the organization. That is an hourglass structure, right? Okay, so there's a question which says, first point of disadvantage, Charu. Let me just quickly go. Numerous potential partners. First point to वही है, because it's difficult to find good quality service providers. That is one disadvantage or a complexity in network, is finding the right network ke log, right? Finding the right supplier is a challenge there. Okay, focus on hourglass. Hourglass simple है. Top layer badi, middle layer choti, then lower layer again badi, right? That is an hourglass structure, right? Look at this diagram. That is what I was saying. Wide at the top, narrow at the middle, and widest at the bottom. This is hourglass. Okay. Pros and cons. Positive सिर्फ एक ही है, reduced cost, because middle management में लोग कम है तो cost कम हो जाती है, right? Managers कम होते हैं तो cost reduce हो जाती है, and it enhances responsiveness by simplifying decision making. Managers कम है तो people can directly report to 2 people in the middle. वो 2 लोग जाके पूरा सब कुछ founders को, directors को, CEO को बता देते हैं, and then it's quicker to take decisions, right? Matrix structure की तरह नहीं है कि इसको भी report करो, उसको भी करो. They find this, they have to think, they both will think, they will take the thing to CEO, then CEO will take a decision. इतना time नहीं लगेगा. They are just small number of managers. Quick and simple decision making. Cons क्या है? Less promotion opportunities for the lower level, right? Absolutely. Ananya, this is classic. I'll come to that very quickly. Less promotion opportunities for the lower levels. Okay. अभी lower level these 10 people and only 2 managers. Abhi these 10 people know boss, agar hum promote bhi ho jayenge, even if we get promotion, the seats at the middle level are very less. So the chances of promotion are there is always fierce competition amongst the employees for promotions, right? Because उनको पता है भाई promotion होगी तो किसी 2 की होगी, कोई 2 लोग ही ऊपर जाएंगे और कोई एक ही आदमी हम 10 में से मैनेजर बनेगा, right? So that fear, that is a negative thing about hourglass structure, right? Now the question from Ananya is, how is middle management being replaced by technology? I'll give you classic example, Ananya, okay? अभी example आपको क्या देते हैं? Think of this. With technology, you tell me, there are big examinations like CAT hota hai, MBA ka, right? Even in your in ICAI is doing your examination at foundation level, you give your examinations on OMR sheet, right? OMR sheet पे देते हो आप examination. ये क्या है? Computerized है, right? Your OMR sheet is computerized. Earlier, people used to check your examination. They used to get paid. They used to get employment. अभी सब लोग का काम कंप्यूटर ने खत्म कर दिया. OMR sheet है. You just put the OMR sheet in the scanner. It calculates your answers, which is right, which is wrong, gives you a result within milliseconds. Right? Similarly, in offices, what happens is there are software tools in offices. Right? There are software tools in offices wherein you go and update what you are doing. Right? When you join a big company, you will understand there are softwares. You go into that company software, you put your attendance, you tell what you did today, you have to type, you have to select what work you did today, and basis that computer will check whether you're saying true or not through your systems, through your projects, through your coding, right? And then they will decide whether you did a good job or not, and whether you should be, after 6 months or 8 months, your continuous performance is tracked by the software, and then they decide whether you should be promoted or not. Manager का काम ही खत्म हो चुका है, right? In a lot of companies, I'm not saying it's there, हर company में हो गया, but in a lot of major big companies, software is taking up the job of a manager, right? They're supervising, they're giving them leaves. Software coding से ही they are doing all this. You have to go and upload what you did, what works you did. Computer analyzes that and tells you whether it was good or bad. And if it is good, you keep getting good ratings every week or every day or every month. After 6-8 months, the computer tells you that, boss, you are there, you can be promoted, and then you can take it up with your managers, right? So इतना सारा काम, इतने सारे managers का काम computer ने छोटा कर दिया. That is why technology, that is how technology is changing the organizational structure landscape, right? Third point of hourglass क्या था? This, हाँ. So what I'm saying is, अभी आपके पास सिर्फ 2 ही मैनेजर्स हैं एंड यू हैव 10 पीपल. इस 10 में सिर्फ 5 कोडिंग वाले हैं, 2 फाइनेंस के हैं, 2 आपके मार्केटिंग के हैं, 1 आपका HR, राइट? थिंक ऑफ दिस, 5 कोडिंग, 5 इंजीनियर्स, 2 चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स, 2 मार्केटिंग MBAs and 1 HR MBA, right? And we only have 2 managers taking care of all the operations. So इन 2 मैनेजर्स को सारे फंक्शंस आने चाहिए, राइट? उनको स्पेशलाइजेशन किसी में नहीं है, बट दे आर जनरल मैनेजर्स. दे टेक केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग. वो फाइनेंस भी देख लेंगे, वो कोडिंग भी देख लेंगे, वो HR भी देख लेंगे, एंड दे विल आल्सो लुक आफ्टर मार्केटिंग, राइट? सो दे आर जनरलिस्ट एंड दे आर नॉट स्पेशलिस्ट. वो स्पेशलिस्ट का की जगह दे बिकम जनरलिस्ट because they can take care of all the functions generally, right? That is what this third point about your hourglass structure says, right? Okay. Strategic leadership. The last topic in this chapter is strategic leadership, and which is super duper simple. Sirf 2 kinds of things we'll study in this, right? Strategic leadership ke andar. Strategic leadership, why is this particular topic put in this chapter? I will explain that to you within 30 seconds. It is because जब आप strategy change करते हैं, when you are creating an organizational structure, when you're changing your strategy, you change your organizational structure. Right? That is what we studied. When you change your strategy, you change your organizational structure. When you change your organizational structure, things within the company change. And when things within the company change, you have to ask people who are working in your company to change. And asking people to change is a very tough task, right? You know that if you have brothers and sisters, if you have siblings, करेंगे, right? So इसके लिए let me change my organizational structure from a functional structure. I will go into an SBU structure. ठीक है? आपकी functional structure था, then you are planning to go into SBU structure, तो different लोगों को आप managers बना दे, right? जो लोग manager बन गए, they are happy. जो लोग manager नहीं बन पाए, they are really sad and they will start leaving the company. So let us say a lot of people start leaving the company. So your strategy of going to 3 countries will be difficult. जब लोग ही नहीं है कंपनी में काम करने के लिए, आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी कैसे काम करेगी? That is where strategic leadership comes into picture. That is where strategic leadership comes into picture, so that the leader, the CEO, the manager, the organizational head, the senior management, सब लोग, कोई भी हो सकता है, right? People who are managing people directly. It can be managers, senior managers, president, vice president, functional head, divisional head, CEO, CFO. जो भी लोगों को manage कर रहा है, he or she has to be a strategic leader, right? They have to be a change agent. A strategic leader is a change agent. They tell people that change अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है. The change is for the good. That is what they have to tell. That is what they have to influence people towards in the organization, right? And that can be done through 2 basic approaches of leadership, right? For example, if you take strategic leaders like Mr. Ratan Tata, Mr. Azim Premji, Mr. Narayan Murthy, right? These are strategic leaders. They have such image. Even if the company changes, even if the company's strategy changes, people believe कि हाँ ये कर रहे सही कर रहे हैं. इनके पास दिमाग है. These are smart people. These are good people. They will help us. Even if we do not feel good in the company, they will find a solution for us, right? So people want to stay in their companies, in TCS, in Infosys, in Wipro, in Tata, in anything related to Wipro, right? Wipro Consumer or XYZ, Narayan Murthy in Infosys, or any startups that they back. People want to work for that, right? So that is strategic leadership, right? There are 2 approaches. There are 2 approaches that a strategic leader can choose to bring about effective change in the organization. The 2 kinds of leadership approaches are transformational and transactional, right? Transformational and transactional. Transformational leadership style and transactional leadership style. Okay, 2 approaches. Transformational समझते हैं. What is transformational? Break the word. Transformational. Transform कर देते हैं. They transform. That means they use their charisma and enthusiasm to inspire people. To inspire, I'm underlining the words for you. To exert them for the good of the organization. They inspire involvement in a mission. They inspire involvement of people. They inspire people to be involved in decision making. आओ चलो ये काम करते हैं. So think about a leader, think about a manager who tells his subordinates, boss, I have this project. Let us all sit down. Let us think how should we do this. आप बताओ क्या कर सकते हैं. आप बताओ क्या कर सकते हैं. He listens to everyone. She listens to everyone, and then decides. They say, boss, this is what we want for the company. This is your company. Think about it as your company and tell me what we should do. I will listen to what ideas you have to tell me, and we will implement that. That is transformational leadership style. That is transformational leadership style, giving followers a dream, a vision, or a higher calling that, boss, कि हम सब की company है. Let us grow this company. You become a part of the growth story of this company. Let us all work together. Let us change things. Things are changing for the good. Let us go and make this company a very big successful business, right? Transformational leadership style, right? Like Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is a transformational leader. He gives dreams, he gives hopes. People want to work in his company because he says in the next 5 years हम Mars पे जाएंगे. Let us work together to change humanity. Let us work together to change or disrupt a particular industry. He sells dreams, he sells a vision, he sells an ideology to the people. Right? That's a transformational leadership style. On the contrary, a transactional leadership style, transact, right? Transact word से आया है. Transactional leadership style, they're not concerned with influence. They're not concerned with inspiration. Inspire नहीं करना. They're focused on designing systems and controlling the organization's activities. They are like army people, right? They are like army. अभी आपके आर्मी में what is there? they have that system होना चाहिए, control होना चाहिए, कुछ discipline होना चाहिए कंपनी में. Inspiration वगैरह होती रहेगी. I need a process and I need a process to control everything that is happening in the company, right? मुझे vision mission होता रहेगा, that is there, that is done already, that is there in the place. I have to focus on building a process. I have to build on the existing culture and enhance current practices. The transactions के ऊपर focus करते हैं. They do not think about transforming the mindset of the people. They think about creating transactions with the people, right? Process बनाते हैं, control बनाते हैं. This is what you will do. This is what you should do. This is what you will do. Let us all work together and get this. This is how you should do it. This is wrong. This is right. This is wrong. This is right. This is kind of a transactional leadership style, right? Both are right. Both are bad, right? In some way or the other. But both are leadership styles and really depends on how a particular leader is. Both are okay. Both are suitable. That is why they are approaches. Nothing is right. Nothing is wrong. They are just two approaches of leadership style. This is also good, right? This is also good because building processes ही main है. कब तक सपने बेचते रहोगे, right? काम भी करना पड़ेगा ना. That is transactional leadership style, right? Appropriate in static environment in mature industries. Generally, mature industries where you need transactional leaders. In mature industries, you need transactional leaders because boss काम करना है. It's a mature industry. Systems are where you have to build processes to control that, right? सपने बेचने का काम can be done at a very young organization, in organizations which are growing. That can be done there. In a big organization, you need people who can manage things through processes and controls, right? Then transactional leadership comes into picture. That is where transactional leadership comes into picture. This style is better suited in persuading people, right? Look at the word to work efficiently and run operations smoothly. For examination purpose, let me give you keywords, okay? In transactional, I'll use a green. In transformational, it is inspire people. In transformational, it is inspire people. In transactional, it is persuading people, right? In transformational, inspire people. In transactional, persuading people is the ideology of the leader, okay? Now, managers have 5 leadership roles for good strategy, right? That means एक manager को करना क्या चाहिए, right? 2 approaches we understood. Strategic leadership में 2 approaches क्या करनी चाहिए? What are the 5 leadership roles for a good strategy execution, right? Monitor execution. You should promote a culture of esprit de corps. That means we are one company, right? The spirit of the corporation, of a corporation, right? We all are a team. We all are one. The entire company is one. We all are a team. You should promote a culture of we all are a team. We all are towards the common motive of the organization, right? Responsive to the changing condition. He or she should be responsive to changes. Should exercise ethical leadership. Ethical होना चाहिए, fair होना चाहिए. A manager should always be fair, should not be unfair. They should be fair. And pushing corrective actions, right? जहाँ पे भी कुछ भी गलत हो रहा है, they should not be afraid to take corrective actions. They should always take corrective action. Afraid नहीं होना, डरना नहीं चाहिए ठीक चीज करने से. They should be nitter. They should be brave to take corrective actions. And those are the 5 leadership roles a good strategy execution needs. Good strategy execution needs that the managers can monitor efficiently about the processes of the company, promote culture of esprit de corps. That means the overall vision of the company. We all are one. This is one company. हम सब एक साथ है इस company, right? Responsive to changing conditions. Ethical leadership should be fair, should not be unfair, and pushing corrective actions. Brave enough to take corrective actions. That is a strategic leadership की 5 roles in strategy execution, right? That is those 5 roles in strategy execution, right? Okay. Now this is, you will see this, we have done all of this. We have done all of this. वो graph देख के बड़ा सा डर लगता है कि ये क्या आ गया, right? But it is very simple. Right? Simple क्या कह रहा है? This graph is saying that the leadership has to take part in designing a strategy and implementing a strategy. Simple. लीडर को क्या करना है? लीडर को दो चीजें करनी है. He or she has to design the strategy and they have to implement the strategy, right? Implementation के लिए क्या करेंगे? Environment scanning, designing, organization, information system, management control, reward system for the employees, management development, feedback लेंगे, policy formulation करेंगे, strategic planning करेंगे, right? सब कुछ पढ़ चुके हैं हम लोग. In foundation, in your SM, right? We have done all of this. It is just putting that in a graph that a leader has to do two things. They design the strategy and they implement the strategy. And while implementing the strategy, they should have the ability to guide the company. कि क्या करना है, right? People, what is a leader? Leader is a person who tells करना क्या है, right? This is what we should do. This is what we are doing, and this is how we should do. That is what implementation is. They should have an ability to guide the company. This is what you have to do. This is what we are wanting to do, and ऐसे करेंगे, right? Influencing the behavior of people and feeling of co-workers, right? He or she should be able to influence the behavior of the co-workers. तभी तो वो एक good leader है. Then only he or she is a good leader when they can influence the behavior of their subordinates. That is only when they are a good leader, right? And that is what leadership's role is in implementation. Implementation में क्या है? कंपनी को गाइड कर सके. They should know what is to be done, when it is to be done, how it is to be done, and they should be able to influence the behavior of people in the company. That is only when they become a good strategic leader. Right? That is when they become a good strategic leader. Okay, cool. So a manager's framework of reference is also very simple. Right? ये ग्राफ भी बहुत simple है. Logic है. Everything is logic. Right? So what happens is, look at this. Effective strategic leadership, what it does is shapes the formulation of strategic intent and it influences strategic mission, right? Abhi jo strategic leader hai, they are doing two things. Everything is logic. Everything is logic. Okay? Everything is logic. Look at this very carefully. They have to design and they have to implement a strategy. They have to design and they have to implement. डिजाइनिंग में क्या करेंगे? स्ट्रेटेजिक मिशन बनाएंगे, स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटेंट बनाएंगे, राइट? एंड देन दे विल कन्वर्ट दैट इनटू स्ट्रेटेजी. स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटेंट बना लिया, मिशन बना लिया, देन दे कन्वर्ट इट इनटू स्ट्रेटेजी. स्ट्रेटेजी में क्या करेंगे? देन दे विल फाइंड आउट कि स्ट्रेटेजी करनी कौन सी है, राइट? थ्रू योर बीसीजी मैट्रिक्स, थ्रू कैश काउ है, डॉग है, क्या है, राइट? प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट करना है, प्रोडक्ट मार्केट डेवलपमेंट करना है, प्रोडक्ट पेनिट्रेशन, डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, वर्टिकल इंटीग्रेशन करना है, हॉरिजॉन्टल इंटीग्रेशन करना है, कॉन्ग्लोमेरेट करना है, कॉन्सेंट्रेट करना है, क्या करना है? फॉर्मुलेशन ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजी करेंगे एंड देन दे विल इंप्लीमेंट दैट स्ट्रैटेजी. They will formulate the strategy and then they will implement that strategy, right? All of this is done to get competitive advantage, right? ये सब कुछ करेंगे to get competitive advantage over the competition, to beat the competition, right? And that is what a manager's framework of reference is, right? Manager's framework of reference for strategy formulation is this. I have to think of the mission, then I have to formulate a strategy, I have to implement it so that I can be the best amongst my competitors. Simple logic है, right? देखने में बड़ा खतरनाक सा ग्राफ है और चार्ट है, but it's super simple. It's basic logic, what we have studied till date, right? That is effective strategic leadership. Effective strategic leadership starts from the beginning till the end. It is not just one thing. It is starting from the beginning till the end. And that is what the strategic leadership is all about. Right? Cool. The last topic, very simple again, is called corporate culture. The last topic, very simple again, is called corporate culture. Corporate culture क्या होता है? Corporate culture, two things. Number one, number two. Number one, it is company's values, beliefs, business principles, traditions, ways of operating an internal work environment, plus that management preaches and practices in its ethical standards, official policies, dealings with employee, unions and stakeholders. That is corporate culture, right? That is corporate culture, right? That is corporate culture. Similar to anything that happens at your home. What is your घर का culture? घर का culture is that if you're, let's say, I'm just giving you an example. Your parents in the morning, they have a culture, they have a tradition, they have a belief, they have a value system, they have principles, they have tradition that you should wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, right? You should take a bath and you should go to a temple or a mosque or a gurudwara or a church, right? In the morning itself, right? You visit your your religious place at, let's say, in the morning after you take a bath, and only then you should eat your breakfast, right? That is their tradition, that is their principle, that is their belief. Plus, how they preach you, right? How they preach you, whether they force you to do this, whether they force you to do the same thing that they believe in, or they're open minded. They say, "Nahi, this is your life, this is what we believe, but we are open to whatever you want to do as well." आप 9 बजे उठो, आप 10 बजे उठो, you want to believe in God or you do not want to believe in God, you want to believe in certain traditions that we do, or you do not want to believe in certain traditions that we have, right? They are open minded. That is what creates a culture in your home, right? Something that they believe in, something that they do themselves, plus something that they want you to do or expect of you versus they force you to do things, right? That is a culture of your home. Similar thing, you copy paste into a business. Similar thing, copy paste into a business, that is called corporate culture, right? The CEO, the CFO, the CXO, all these people are like parents, right? They're controlling, they're managing the entire business. So they have certain beliefs, certain traditions, right? They have a belief that I want more people to work for 12 hours. I want people to work on Saturdays because I think it's very effective. I don't want people to work on weekends because I think they have done enough on weekdays, right? So that is what their belief is. And that is what they make you do as well. Right? So that creates a corporate culture. So if the top management is very ethical, right? They means hum bribe nahi karte. We do not give bribes. We do not give gifts to anyone, right? That is what the top management believes, and that is how they manage their company. That is a corporate culture. So what niches to subordinates also, they say कि boss यहाँ पे bribe वगैरह नहीं चलती है. Right? This is not what we do, right? And similarly, that is what a corporate culture is developed. So let's say if the top management, CEO, CFO say कि नहीं यार थोड़ी bribe देनी पड़ती है business करने के लिए, right? Generally in small businesses you will see that Seth ji, right, the owner of the business says कि यार थोड़ा सा तो पैसा देना पड़ता है, bribe देनी पड़ती है काम करने के लिए. Now that is their value system, that is their belief system, and that is what they will make the subordinates, the employees also do, right? So that is how a corporate culture is developed. Right or wrong is a separate discussion, but that is a corporate culture. That is what a corporate culture is, the belief system, the traditions, how things are done, and how they make you as a stakeholder do things is called a corporate culture. It's called a business ka corporate culture, right? And the role of culture in strategy execution is that it should be compatible. Simple है. Strategy में culture का क्या role? Culture का role है, right? So your strategy should match with the culture. If your strategy is of growth and your culture is of alas, right? If your corporate culture, if the culture of your company is very alsi, it's lazy. People, the top management, everyone is so lazy, decision making slow. The tradition is 1 बजे आके office, everyone reaches office at 1 p.m. 5 बजे काम करके सब चले जाते घर पे. There is no one checking that. The corporate culture is very lazy. But your strategy is growth. Your strategy is कि नहीं यार आज तो 100 करोड़ का धंधा है, अगले 2 साल में मुझे 500 करोड़ का धंधा बनाना है. And your corporate culture is कि भाई 1 बजे people are coming to office, 5 बजे छुट्टी हो रही है, lunch 2-2 घंटे lunch चल रहा है, right? That is not going to match. So corporate culture should be compatible with your strategy for a successful strategy execution, right? That is the basic thing you should understand. बाकी सब you can study, right? That is there, but logic यही है that your corporate culture should match with the kind of strategy, right? And if let's say if it is reverse, आपकी company is in a stable mode, कि ज़्यादा tension नहीं, ज़्यादा pressure नहीं लेना, this company is growing, but the corporate culture is नहीं सुबह 9 बजे ऑफिस आओ, रात को 9 बजे तक ऑफिस बैठो. People will be exhausted, but company तो बढ़ नहीं रही है, company is not even growing, company doesn't even want to grow. हमसे की 14 घंटे काम करवा रहे, right? So that is also, there should be compatibility. Your company is not growing, your vision is not to grow your company, and you're still making us work for 14 hours. What is the logic, right? So compatibility between a culture and strategy should be always there for an effective strategy execution, right? Okay. Any questions so far? these are simple concepts. I'm just giving you logic, right? I'm just giving you logics. It's because these concepts are really, really simple, right? These concepts are probably very simple in terms of logic. Ki leadership kya hoti hai? What does the leadership should do? Leadership should do designing, implementation, control, and then what they do all of this for competitive advantage. Because we are reaching the end of the syllabus, this entire thing is now flowing into combination 1 to 6 तक जो भी पढ़ा है, that is what we are combining. उसका निचोड़ रहे, right? The leadership look at implementation, formulation of strategies, implementation कैसे करते हैं, competitive advantage बनाने के लिए करते हैं. There should be corporate culture, there should be leadership skills in the top leaders, right? So we're just reaching the end of the syllabus, and that is why we're concluding the strategy part. Strategic management, we started from introduction to different policies, to corporate strategy, to business strategy, to functional strategy. And now we are stopping that from an organizational structure to leaders. कि end में जो बना रहे हैं, the people who are creating strategies, what should they do? What should they do? Right? Okay. So perils of strategy culture conflict. That means, hota kya? That is what I'm saying. This is the exact thing that I explained in the previous slide. Perils of strategy culture conflict. If your corporate culture does not match with your strategy, there will always be a conflict, right? Just like your company is growing, but people are very lazy, or people are working super hard, but the company is not growing because your strategy is not for growth, right? So that is going to conflict, right? Out of sync ho jayega. The corporate culture and strategy will be out of sync and can occasionally mean revamping strategy to produce cultural fit. What will happen? You have to do either of the two things. या तो आप strategy change करोगे या फिर आप अपना culture change करोगे, right? If there is a conflict, you will either change the strategy or you will change the culture, right? More usually it means revamping the culture, right? That means अगर आपका culture and strategy is not matching, generally you change the culture, you don't change the strategy, you change your culture first, right? Out of the two, if someone asks you कि भाई your company का culture and your strategy is not matching, so what will you change? Generally first thing you will change is the culture. Strategy बाद में change करोगे, culture पहले change करोगे, right? More usually means revamping the mismatched culture first to make it fit for the strategy, right? So logic yahi hai, you have to first change the culture, and then if that also doesn't work, then you go on to change the strategy, right? Simple, super simple, right? Okay. Ye to I don't think I even need to explain. This particular topic, do you want me to explain entrepreneurship? Everyone has seen Shark Tank, right? Shark Tank to sabne dekh liya. The entire India is talking about it, right? Shark Tank is entrepreneurship. Initiating new concepts and business ideas, recognizing the business opportunity, facing risk and uncertainties, arranging and coordinating resources like capital, technology, human talent to give a practical shape to an idea and develop a business, right? Entrepreneurship. So sabko pata hai. I don't think I even need to explain what an entrepreneurship is, right? But what I need to explain is called intrapreneurship, right? It's called intrapreneurship. Intrapreneurship is a latest new concept, which is nothing but an entrepreneur who operates within the organization. Okay? Entrepreneur kya hota hai? Entrepreneur is who is creating his or her own company, new idea लेके एक नया business बना रहे हैं, वो entrepreneur हो गया, right? A person who is working as an employee, okay, an entrepreneur, look at this. An important thing of difference is entrepreneur is not an employee. He or she is the owner of the business, the founder of the business. Entrepreneur is an employee. He or she is an employee, okay? They are an employee of the company. They are not separate. They are not business people. They are employee of the company, but who operate within the organization as an entrepreneur, right? So this is a new thing that when you go to find a job, a lot of startups want entrepreneurs. A lot of startups want people who are entrepreneurs. That means they come into the company and they work like it's their own business. They find new ideas. They're ready to take risk. They're ready to put in money. They're ready to put in efforts and time and everything. But they get a salary for it. Right? Entrepreneurs are people who work as an employee, but their mindset is of an entrepreneur. Right? People who are an employee of the business, but their mindset is of an entrepreneur for the company. So they do good things for the company. They bring new ideas. They are ready to take risks. They take quick decisions. They make the business. They want to envision the business as big. Those are called entrepreneurs, right? Intra means within. Intra means within the company. It has now become a trend that even the large corporations appoint entrepreneurs within the organization to bring operational excellence and gain competitive edge in the market. Not just startups, even big companies nowadays. If you go to an interview, आप articleship के interview में जाएंगे, आप job के interview में जाएंगे, this is one of the characteristics that a lot of companies want to see in you. They want to see in you whether do you have a skill set of an entrepreneur. Are you ready to take risk? Are you quick-minded? Do you take quick decisions? Are you able to handle pressure situations? Are you ID? Do you have ideas? Do you have business ideas? Do you have business knowledge? Right? These are basic things that even big companies are looking for in candidates. And that is what is called entrepreneurship. That is called an entrepreneurship. Right? And with that, chapter number 7 is also complete. Let us spend 2-3 minutes on any doubts and questions. And after that, let us quickly spend the next 30 minutes. Then we will spend the next 30 minutes on questions and answers, which are tricky, which are exam oriented, right? And we will focus on that today. So how to understand the question, how to read a question, right? But before I get into a quiz, any doubts on any of the topics from chapter 7, what we studied today, we'll spend 2 minutes on that. Okay? Take your time. Distinguish between entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship. Sushil, entrepreneur बाहर का आदमी, तो उसका अपना business होता है. Entrepreneur is an employee who has a mindset of a business owner, right? Entrepreneur is a business owner. उसका अपना काम है. He is not an employee. वो अपने काम का मालिक है. But entrepreneur is an employee with a mindset of entrepreneur. Right? Great, Shakti. If it's all clear, that's wonderful. What about others? Ask your questions. Do not be confused on anything. Ask and clear your doubts. Absolutely, Pooja. Absolutely. Concepts. The PPTs are just crisp one-liner concepts I give, right? They're just crisp one-liner concepts. You will have to go through the study material irrespective. There is no alternative to not studying the study material. Sure, Javed. You guys want a full revision, right? We'll do that in after quiz. Abhi quiz is important. Charu is asking difference between logistics and supply chain. Entire 40 minutes I did on that, Charu. Right? I did 40 minutes on that. You can go and check that. If that is still not clear, I'll take it up after chapter 8 because I really want to do the quiz today, right? वरना अभी फिर 20 मिनट में ये समझाता रहूंगा. Then it'll be the quiz is more important today. But we'll take it up, right? If you still just go and refer to that thing again, if you listen to that thing again, आपको फिर से समझ आ जाएगा. If it still is an issue, if it still creates a confusion, we'll do that in the next after chapter 8, right? Chapter 8 के बाद also I will have around 1 hour extra. We'll do those doubts in that then, right? ये तो बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक पूछ लिया आपने, Right, Kushi? Transactional, transformational, we just did. Transactional is more focused on processes. Transformational is more focused on influencing people. Keyword yaad rakho. Transformational is influence people. Your transactional is persuade people. Force people to do things is transactional. Inspire people to do things is transformational. Right? Okay, are you ready for the quiz? This is going to be really interesting. This is going to be really beneficial for you guys. It's going to be entirely concept driven, right? So let us, without wasting much time, let us quickly get into the quiz. Okay. The questions are going to come from any of the chapters. It is not just chapter 7. किसी भी chapter से हो सकता है. You have to identify an answer. Okay. Here is the first question on your screen. Read the question carefully and answer. Read the question carefully and answer. Meanwhile, I will just go off for a minute. My laptop's battery is draining and I forgot to put on the charger. Just give me 1 minute, guys. You solve the question till then. I will be back very quickly. I'll just go off for 30 seconds. I forgot to put in the charger in my laptop. Just give me 30 seconds. You guys solve the question till then. Okay. No, I was battery khatam ho gayi. So we are back. All right. Answers, everybody. Okay, so people, I don't see a lot of answers. Why? Quick. We will be short of time then. I have like 7-8 questions for you in this quiz. Everyone should answer. I would request all of you to answer, please. Exam oriented hai. It will really help you. Okay. Okay, so the answers are coming as financial strategy, capital requirement, financial, some are saying business re-engineering. Let us see. J Limited reached out to XP Bank, right, for bridge financing and also requested for an immediate credit line for their working capital needs. Which strategy do you think they are opting for? I would really want to tell all of you guys that, ma'ams and sirs, all of you are wrong. The correct answer is turnaround business. This is called turnaround business. Why? ये क्या हो गया? हमारे marks कट जाएंगे exam में. What will we do? You have to study things really carefully. Bridge financing, an immediate credit line for the working capital need. Immediate credit line for their working capital need and bridge financing are two ways when you do a turnaround. Emergency plan yaad hai? Do you remember emergency plan? Do you remember emergency plan in retrenchment? In turnaround strategy, you would do an emergency plan. Go and refer that in your study material, right? Go and refer your emergency plan wala topic, turnaround strategy in your study material. You will find these words: bridge financing, immediate credit line, working capital requirement. These words you are going to find in turnaround business. राइट. कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट में ब्रिज फाइनेंसिंग नहीं आता. कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट में इमीडिएट क्रेडिट लाइन नहीं आती है, वो टर्न अराउंड बिजनेस में आता है. कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट विल बी टर्म लोन, इक्विटी, डेट. These words are used for capital requirement. Bridge financing, immediate credit line, right? Working capital requirement, instant, immediate. Look at the word immediate. Emergency plan है, bridge financing हो रही है. What is bridge financing? एक लोन को पे करने के लिए दूसरा लोन लेना is called bridge financing. We have done this in foundation. एक लोन को पे करने के लिए दूसरा लोन लेना पड़ता है, उसको बोलते हैं bridge financing. You do this when your business is in losses. एक लोन पे क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे? Because your business is in losses. You want immediate पैसा अपने suppliers को पे करने के लिए, working capital ही नहीं है आपके पास. It's a turnaround business strategy. It is not a capital requirement, right? That is why I'm saying these questions are going to be really tricky. You have to think and use your brain. Look at the question. What the question is. The question is not going to give you answers. You have to find a backstory to the question. कि ये क्यों हो रहा होगा, इस कंपनी के साथ ये क्यों हो रहा है. Basis that you will have an answer, right? So I'm really happy all of you were wrong. None of you said turnaround strategy. None of you said turnaround strategy, and I'm really happy, right? It is turnaround strategy, and now you know what kind of questions to expect in examination. ये questions you will not find anywhere. I prepared specially for this session. Okay. Okay. Second question on your screen. Second question on your screen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Read the question very, very carefully. Read the question carefully and answer. Jaipur Mart, an online marketplace where people from all over Rajasthan, right, come and sell their goods, is charging 0% commission for the listing of goods, but 1% of sales per month they take from sellers. What is this? Is this their business intent? Is this their business idea? Is this their business definition? Or is this their business model? ये तो simple है. ये तो simple है, right? Comparatively simple than the previous one. Business model, business intent, business model. You're confused between A and D. Good that you're confused. All confusions यहीं पे खत्म करके जाएंगे. D, business model, business model. What about others? I just see 4-5 people answering. और बाकी लोग को क्या हो गया? Business definition, Sandeep says okay, Prasita says okay, Saru says definition, intent. Okay, the correct answer is business model. Business model का simple definition I explained was आपका business पैसे कैसे कमाता है, right? Business model is आपका business पैसे कैसे कमाता. How does your business earn money? How does your business make money? What is the way your business makes money is called business model. Jaipur Mart makes money by taking 1% sales per month from the sellers. Jaipur Mart makes money by taking 1% of the sales per month from the sellers. That is their business model. That is their business model. That is their business model. How they make money is their business model. Correct? Simple hai. Simple hai. Simple hai. Remember the concept. The answer is in front of you. It is not business idea. It is not business definition. It is not business intent. Model is how they make money is business model. And jahan pe, this is their business model. 1% सेल्स का 1% मंथली लेके, दैट इज हाउ दे मेक मनी, राइट? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऑन द स्क्रीन. Next question on the screen. Okay, so Shraddha, good that you want to understand business intent. Business intent is why you want to do that business, right? Why you want to do that business is your business intent. How you do that business is your business definition, and how you make money from that business is your business model. Why you want to do a business is business intent. How you do that business is business definition, and how you make money from that business is your business model. Okay. Question on the screen. Hupo, a honey brand, decided to start a new brand for making honey ginger candies. Toffee banane lag gaya. Honey ginger toffees to meet the rising demand. Find their growth strategy. Again, people are confused, right? Yes, Jamil, you're feeling like sitting on a hot seat in the winters. Good for you, right? You're confused between D and B, concentric or a horizontal integration. That is why I put up this question. इसीलिए तुझे question डाला है. आप confuse हो जाओ. You should go back home. You should go back to your normal life, thinking about these questions कि boss हमको कुछ नहीं आता, हमें पढ़ना पड़ेगा. That is what my idea was, right? And which is a good thing. Exam से पहले nervousness is a good thing. Horizontal, concentric, conglomerate, vertical. अच्छा, conglomerate, concentric है, conglomerate है, horizontal है. Okay, let us see again mixed answers. That means we all need a lot of study material practice. We need to see the sessions again. I am pretty sure many सारे examples I have done each and every concept with a similar example. Because I made questions, so you know when I give examples impromptu in the class, मेरा दिमाग तो वैसे ही चलता है, right? So these questions are also mine. So what will happen is, if you go back and see all, like whenever you're revising, go to YouTube or something, watch all these sessions again at 1.5, because I speak very slow in the sessions, right? 1.5 पे जाके watch these sessions again, watch the concepts again, and you will get all the answers. I'm pretty sure. अभी वो याद नहीं आता, but once you revise, go and watch all the sessions at 1.5 again. I'm pretty sure you will be able to answer all of these. Prajakta is asking difference between business definition and model. Business definition, how you do business, and business model is how you make money from that business, right? Prajakta, there is a difference. आप business कैसे करते हो? That is your business definition. आप business से पैसे कैसे कमाते हो? That is your business model. Okay. इसका आंसर देखते हैं. The answer for this one is concentric diversification, right? Honey बनाना and honey की टॉफी बनाना, honey ginger की टॉफी बनाना, it's a different business. It's a different business, but it is related. It is different but related. Okay. It is different but it is related. It is different but it is related. इसलिए ये हो गया concentric. It is not horizontal. ना तो ये substitute product है, ना तो ये आपका complementary product है. Neither honey and ginger की टॉफी honey का सब product भी नहीं है. It is not even a competitive product. It is not even a complementary product. It is not even a honey का substitute थोड़ी ना honey ginger टॉफी, right? कि अच्छा नहीं, हमें तो चाय में शहद डालनी है या दूध में शहद डालना है, छोड़िए. Do not put honey in the milk. Put a toffee, honey की टॉफी डाल दो, honey ginger टॉफी डाल दो. It is not a substitute. It is not a complementary good also. Complementary good means अगर आप ब्रेड के साथ बटर ले रहे हो, ब्रेड एंड बटर are complementary. ऐसे हनी एंड हनी जिंजर टॉफी आर नॉट कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री. कोई आपको हनी देगा, आपको कहेगा अरे रुको, हनी जिंजर की टॉफी भी खाओ इसके साथ, अच्छी लगती है. दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. It is not a complementary good. It is not a supplementary good. It is not a competitive good. It is a different business altogether, but it is related to what the Hoopo brand does. वो हनी बनाती है, अब हनी से हनी जिंजर की टॉफी बनाती है. It is a related business for Hoopo. टॉफी और हनी डिफरेंट बिजनेसेस हैं, बट इट इज रिलेटेड फॉर Hoopo. उसको हनी बनाना तो आता ही है, राइट? इट इज a related business for. That is why it is concentric diversification. That is why it is concentric diversification, right? Okay, cool. Let us go on to the next question. Read the question again very carefully. A Japanese company, while entering Middle East, wanted to reduce risk and distribute it amongst interested investors and partners. Which could be their best case strategy? Cool. Sonu and Charu both want to understand आपका horizontal integration. That is what I said, Sonu and Charu. आपका horizontal is your when you make complementary or substitute products, right? Then it is called horizontal integration. कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री गुड्स क्या होता है? कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री जो एक दूसरे के साथ जाते हैं, राइट? ब्रेड बटर हो गई, ब्रेड के साथ बटर जाता है, राइट? जैम के साथ बटर जाता है. सो इफ यू मेकिंग जैम, यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग बटर, राइट? दैट इज हॉरिजॉन्टल. और प्रॉब्ली उससे सब प्रोडक्ट क्या आता है? फॉर क्लासिक एग्जांपल इज यू मेक मिल्क, राइट? आपका मिल्क का फार्म है, यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग मक्खन, यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग बटर, यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग घी, यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग पनीर. दैट इज हॉरिजॉन्टल इंटीग्रेशन. कि आप रिलेटेड बिजनेस में जा रहे हो जो उसी का सब प्रोडक्ट बाय प्रोडक्ट है, राइट? जो उसी का सब प्रोडक्ट है, उसी का बाय प्रोडक्ट है. टू स्टार्ट मेकिंग दैट इज हॉरिजॉन्टल इंटीग्रेशन. बट इफ यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग अ गुड विच इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम योर गुड बट रिलेटेड फॉर योर बिजनेस, मैं हनी से हनी का वो बना दूं, टॉफी बना दूं, इट इज डिफरेंट बिजनेस बट रिलेटेड फॉर मी. दैट इज कॉन्सेंट्रिक, राइट? फॉरवर्ड एंड बैकवर्ड इज सिमिलर. फॉरवर्ड है आप अपने आगे की लेवल पे चले जाओ, यू आर ए प्रोड्यूसर, आप रिटेलर बन जाओ, यू स्टार्ट योर रिटेल शॉप, दैट इज फॉरवर्ड. आप एक प्रोड्यूसर हो चिप्स के, यू मेक पोटैटो चिप्स, आप जाके अपने आलू का बगीचा खोलो, अपने आलू का फार्म खोल लो, दैट इज बैकवर्ड इंटीग्रेशन. बट कैंडीज विल यूज हनी, सो व्हाई इट इज नॉट नहीं, हनी तो बहुत जगह यूज होता है. हनी का वर्टिकल इंटीग्रेशन क्या होगी? इफ आई स्टार्ट सेलिंग हनी ऑफ विद माई ब्रांड, राइट? मैं अपना ब्रांड बना के अपनी दुकानें खोल दूं हनी की, दैट इज फॉरवर्ड इंटीग्रेशन. और आई स्टार्ट लाइक फार्मिंग बीज, मैं बीज की फार्मिंग करने लग जाऊं, तो दैट इज बैकवर्ड इंटीग्रेशन. दिस इज नॉट, या तो मैं टॉफी बना रहा हूँ सिर्फ, आई एम नॉट मेकिंग, इट इज नॉट अ वर्टिकल इंटीग्रेशन. हनी से हनी की टॉफी बनती है, ऐसे हनी से अगर इफ आई एम मेकिंग 10,000 थिंग्स फ्रॉम हनी, दैट डजंट मीन इट इज अ वर्टिकल, इट इज कॉन्सेंट्रिक. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज डिफरेंट, सेम सप्लाई चेन में नहीं है. वर्टिकल इंटीग्रेशन इज इन द सेम लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस, आगे या पीछे जाना, राइट? आगे या पीछे जाना इन द सेम लाइन ऑफ बिजनेस इज वर्टिकल इंटीग्रेशन. यहां तो हम हनी से हट के टॉफी बनाने लग गए, राइट? हनी की मार्केट से हट के हम स्टार्टेड मेकिंग टॉफी कैंडीज, राइट? तो वो तो एकदम डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्री होगी, राइट? तो वो कॉन्सेंट्रिक हो जाएगा. अगर मैं सेम ही लाइन में आगे पीछे जाऊंगा, दैट इज वर्टिकल, राइट? यू आर इन क्लास 10th, आप 9th में जाओगे या 11th में जाओगे, दैट इज वर्टिकल. आप स्कूल ही चेंज कर लो, दैट इज कॉन्सेंट्रिक, राइट? इफ यू थिंक फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव, यू आर इन क्लास 10, यू विल गो टू क्लास 11th और यू विल गो टू क्लास 9. दिस इज वर्टिकल. एक ही स्कूल में एक ही टीचर, एक ही प्रिंसिपल, सब कुछ एक ही है, बट यू आर इन द सेम स्कूल. आप स्कूल ही चेंज कर लो टू सम अदर सिटी, दैट इज कॉन्सेंट्रिक, राइट? Question or answer to this one, okay? It's strategic alliance. Strategic alliance, right? The answer to this question is strategic alliance. Why? You go and read strategic alliance. अभी ये लिख लो कहीं पे, आप study material में you go and read about strategic alliance, you will find out reducing risk and distributing amongst interested investors and partners, strategic alliance. को जेनरिक में रिड्यूस नहीं होता है कभी, रिस्क रिड्यूस नहीं होता है, बढ़ता ही है. कॉन्ग्लोमेरेट में हमेशा रिस्क बढ़ता ही है, हॉरिजॉन्टल में रिस्क बढ़ता ही है. टू रिड्यूस रिस्क यू कैन ओनली गो फॉर स्ट्रेटेजिक अलायंस, राइट. रिड्यूस करने के लिए को जेनरिक में रिस्क डज नॉट रिड्यूस, कॉन्ग्लोमेरेट में रिस्क डज नॉट बढ़ता ही है, हॉरिजॉन्टल में रिस्क बढ़ता ही है. इट ओनली रिड्यूसेस इन स्ट्रेटेजिक अलायंस. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऑन द स्क्रीन क्विकली. Read the question very, very carefully. Mahesh was a really good actor, but always wanted to produce a theatrical drama. Theater करना चाहते थे. For this, he started a production house called Jinx Studios and made 2 dramas. He further found out that people preferred musical shows more. So he kept selling the 2 dramas, but made a huge investment in musical shows. Identify his opted strategy. Right? I hope these are good questions. These are giving you good practice. Right? These are good questions. Mahesh was a really good actor, but always wanted to produce a theatrical drama. For this, he started a production house called Jinx Studios and made 2 dramas. 2 theater के drama बनाए उसने. He further found out that people preferred musical shows more. उसको लगा यार drama कम देखते लोग, musical shows ज़्यादा देखना चाहते हैं. So he kept selling the 2 dramas, but made huge investment in musical shows. Identify his opted strategy. Is it expansion? Is it stability? Is it combination, or is it growth? Is it expansion? Is it stability? It is combination, or is it growth? The answers coming in are expansion, combination, what else? Growth, 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 combination, growth. Absolutely, yeah. Expansion and growth are the same thing. You can get both as confusing, right? That is good that you identify कि expansion और growth तो एक ही चीज है, right? Questions can come that they will be there to confuse you. I can give options to confuse you, right? So you're finding you're finding something wrong in the question. Ma'am, please answer the question first. Then you decide the question में option ठीक है या नहीं. First you give me the right answer. Growth, growth, growth. Growth, expansion, growth, growth, growth. Okay, combination, combination. The correct answer is combination. The correct answer is combination. Okay, the correct answer is combination. Why? The question is why. He kept selling the 2 dramas, but made huge investment in musical shows. Combination. He kept selling the 2 dramas. Stability, stability, stability strategy. Drama के लिए stability strategy लगा दी, and made huge investment in musical shows. Musical shows के लिए growth strategy लगा दी. Right? He kept selling the 2 dramas. Stability लगा दी. Made huge investment in musical shows. Growth strategy लगा दी. Growth plus stability combination strategy. Growth plus stability combination strategy. Right? He kept selling the 2 dramas. वो चल रहे हैं ड्रामा, अभी भी चलते रहेंगे. Stable business बना दिया उसने. Stability और huge investment कर दी musical shows में. That is growth. So growth plus stability combination. Combination. Right? Last question. Last question on your screen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Last question. Really important. Live, ये तो आपके साथ हो रहा है. This particular thing is happening with you on a daily basis. This is the last question. I have more questions. We'll do it in the next class. Next class के शुरू में, right? Next class के शुरू में we'll do questions. So be really proactive in the next session में. सुबह जल्दी आना. because I have more questions, but today this is the last question. Solve this and then let us wrap up quickly. Sunday hai, we'll enjoy Sunday up, but solve this question, right? Consider an individual who currently pays rupees 150 per month for her OTT subscription, right? She notices that another service provider is providing the same plan for a monthly cost of just rupees 100, but it has shows which aren't rated good. What is creating for her, right? What is it creating for her? This situation kya hai? Is it a brand identity that is being created for her? Is it an inaccessibility of distribution channels that is being created? Is it bargaining power of the buyer that is being created by charging less, or is it a switching cost for the customer, right? Bargaining power, switching cost, brand identity, all the answers. Great. Brand identity, switching cost, brand identity, switching cost, bargaining power. We'll just wait for another 10 seconds. Quickly give me your answers, very quickly. I don't want to take much time from you on a Sunday. 2 minute वैसे ऊपर हो गए. Brand identity, switching cost, brand identity. The correct answer is switching cost. The correct answer is switching cost. Even if she is getting a 50 rupees ka benefit, she is getting a benefit of rupees 50. 150 की जगह सिर्फ 100 रुपए. Instead of 150 rupees, she can now pay 100 rupees. But because the shows are not rated good, she doesn't want to watch these shows. It becomes difficult for her to switch to the other OTT, right? अभी वूट पे मेरे को बहुत अच्छे shows हैं. सोनी लिव का प्राइस गिर जाता है, but सोनी लिव के shows अच्छे नहीं हैं. So how will I go to? That's a switching cost for me. This 50 rupees becomes irrelevant. That benefit of 50 rupees becomes irrelevant because it has more switching cost for me. मैं 100 रुपए क्यों दूं जब मुझे कुछ देखना ही नहीं? मैं 10 रुपए में दे दो, मैं तब भी नहीं लूंगा. मुझे वो देखना ही नहीं है, right? So it's a switching cost. मेरे को फ्री में दे दो, right? If tomorrow there's a new OTT, now think about this. There is a new OTT channel which is free of cost, but the shows are not good there. Right? That's very generic or old shows. Let's say बहुत पुरानी movies डाल के एक OTT आ गया. Right? Young people are not going to buy even if it is free. I'm not going to subscribe to it even if it's free. I don't want to watch old movies. Just giving an example. That is switching cost. That is switching cost. जहाँ पे the money is not the matter of decision making. The comfort and the choice, the preference is the matter. Where the preference of the customer is the matter of decision making and not money, that is switching cost. That is switching cost. Right? Okay. Let us end the session for today here. I have more such questions. Right? I have more such questions for you in the next session. We'll also do a case study. SMA, we have long case studies. Next session, we'll start the session with a case study and then we'll go to chapter number 8. Okay? We'll start with a few questions like these. We'll do a full length case study as well, live practice karenge from this booklet, right? From the ICAI booklet only we'll do that. And then we'll get into chapter 8. So be there for the next session. Before I end, there's a question. But in switching cost, should there be available the shows available on existing OTT? There should be available all the shows. Absolutely, Jamil. Aapki preference hai. I'm just saying it's a matter of preference for the customer, right? Abhi ho sakta hai, these shows aren't rated good, but I want to watch this show. I will go and buy for 100 rupees, right? But generally, it shows which aren't rated good, people do not want to watch those shows. General parlance. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है 100 रुपए वाला OTT बंद हो जाएगा. There will be less people, right? But sir, how can the good be good but due to gestation period of brand, they cannot choose it? Absolutely, probably anything. That is also switching cost. अभी यही तो हम लोग करते हैं. MS Excel है. There could be softwares which are even better than MS Excel. बट अभी हमें सीखना पड़ेगा, वो चाहे फ्री दे दे मुझे कोई एक, even if someone gives me a free software which is better than MS Excel, it will take a lot of effort for me to go and learn that, right? That is switching costs. Even if it is free, even it is better, even it is better rated, even it is more useful to me, it will take a lot of effort. अभी 5-6 साल में तो एक्सेल सीखा है, अब आप मेरे को जरा नया सॉफ्टवेयर सीख लो, राइट? इट इज अ स्विचिंग कॉस्ट. जनरल कंज्यूमर के लिए इट इज डिफिकल्ट, राइट? That is what this switching cost means, right? All right, let us close the session here today. I hope these questions really help you. I hope these questions were good for you to understand how to read a question, how to solve a question. We have more of these coming up, right? So thank you so much for everyone who has joined in and who has been interactive. It's been great. Let us close the session for today and I'll meet you in the next one, right? All right, guys, take care, please. Thank you. Yes.